To play it very quick, but then unfortunately, referee pulling them back to say, guys, there is a player down. And that should be Fernando Navas. That is down for now. Not yet so sure as to which team is going to lose between these two, or rather going to grab the 3 points. There it is, and I think that is Okahanja United. They are ready for a shot. They also feel they have a chance to make it for the top 8.
Well, a very, very good afternoon and welcome to our bread and butter. The NPFL title chase is officially on. Now, it has been coming a long time. There has been, of course, multiple contenders for that is the title. KK Palace at one point were on top of the title, of course, that is the table. And at some point, we also saw Mighty Gunners on top of the table. And at some particular point, somewhere in the mix, FC Ongos were also in it. And they just lost the plot towards the end. But nonetheless, they are still chasing on. As for UNAM, they remain the only unbeaten team in the league, of course, until some point where they suffered a defeat. So much transpired this season, and we could not have written this in any different kind of movie as we are seeing this afternoon. We are, of course, going to be having two teams battling for that is a top honors. It is going down until the very end as we get to bring you that is around 29 this afternoon. We are going to be seeing two clashes in Windhoek and in the north, both at the independent stadiums of the different towns. Who could have wrote a better script than this? We are going to be seeing African Stars taking on UNAM, top of the table. And then we're seeing Eshoke Chula Chula following by 1 point. They are in the north taking on, that is Okahanja United. Welcome. My name is Javita Kanjumbwa. Excited to take you through this really big moment in Namibian football history as we get to possibly relive a bit of what transpired in 2013. We might be seeing the helicopter or not. Everything will be determined. That is, of course, today. Now, I'm not in studio alone. I am joined by Namibian legends. And we'll start with, of course, my boss, Ortman, brave warrior striker back in the day. Of course, having an illustrious career, of course, with the Brave Warriors and locally. But a different story to tell with NPL teams, Orlando Pirates and Civics. But nonetheless, a very, very good afternoon to you, my boss.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me here this afternoon. Exciting times for Namibian football.
Another brave Warriors striker, is with us, Costa Kasem. A very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Jovita, my boss, and the viewers out there.
Well, we have so much to talk about, but we'll first unpack what is transpiring elsewhere in the league before, of course, get to the big clashes. They will be kicking off at 4:30. The clashes will be on NBC 1 and 2. African Stars and that is UNAM. That game will be live on NBC 1, while on NBC 2 we'll have Eshoke Chula Chula and Okahanja, that is Okahanja United out in Oshakati. Both games kicking off at 4:30, so there is nothing to predict because games are starting at the same time and ending at the same time. Now, before we get to that, I mean, KK Palace, I've indicated, were at some point in the mix. They were topping the table at some point, and now we're seeing that they are battling for top 8 now because we also have the Senate Bank Top 8 Cup. My boss, what do you make? Let's start with what you make of how this season has played out so far.
No, really, thank you very much. I think for the season, it's very exciting for the Namibian football. You know, you have seen the traditional league teams like Pirates, Stars, you have Black Africa, and then obviously Tigers. But then, you know, only Stars remaining now in the top floor and fighting for honors and trying to be the flag bearer. So it's exciting to see teams from the north coming and make such a big impact, which is only good for football. You know, Namibia is a big country, you know, and then there's talent everywhere. So I hope that with this, you know, we will have more development structures put in place that will assist the team. So I think it was a very exciting season, as you rightly say, that over the season, you know, there was a yo-yo. Mighty Gunners were there, and I really was following Mighty Gunners to be at that time, and very excited to what they were planning to do. And then obviously Chula have been very consistent over the last few seasons, and they bring a different dimension to the Namibian football, which really also was a wake-up call for the traditional teams. And that's why that competition between Stars and Chula is only healthy for the Namibian football. And then that can also just improve and inspire the rest of the teams. Obviously, you know, at the relegation, you know, Tigers unfortunately has come down. Obviously, Life Fighters also a traditional team from Otivarango. But in the middle, you have the traditional teams like Blue Waters. You know, they have to really work hard not to follow the path of Pirates and Tigers, but then because we need to rebuild that image also by having these big clubs back in the Premier League. But for today, it's a very exciting day for Namibian football. You know, 1 point. Stars on the other side, you know, have the experience and for over the last couple of years that they have been in this scenario. Chula, it's a new excitement to be on the top, and really it will also be a very good thing if Chula can cleanse the title today. But then, you know, it's for Namibian football, it will be really good, and because, you know, the crowd that is following Chula, it can only inspire the rest of the country, because the other teams, people have come relaxed, lackluster to go to the stadiums. But I think through Chula and through Stars, what they have been doing, obviously there's a lot of investment needed, but then they have shown that, you know, we can bring people back to the stadiums, which is very important.
Absolutely. Now, in the north, KK Palace taking on Bucks Buccaneers. It's currently 2-2, second half, 85th minute. So the game is nearing a close. But as we see, of course, the game live there at the Oshakati Independent Stadium. Let's talk about Bucks Buccaneers and going to the north and trying to secure possibly a draw there, and also the top 8 being on the line.
Yes, thanks for the question. I think Standard Bank top 8 changed the whole concept for the middle class teams, because usually when it's end of the season and you see that you've got nothing to play for, there is no motivation. But knowing that they can get 50,000 Namibian dollars as participants for each round that you qualify for, say for instance, if you qualify quarterfinal, semi-final, final, you have already 150,000 in your pocket, besides the winning prize. So this one is a good boost from Standard Bank, and that's why you see teams like Bucks Buccaneers now not giving up, playing to the last minute, hoping that they can get a better position, because more better you are placed in the top 8, the easier opponent you get in the quarterfinal. So that's a good motivation. So I'm glad to see the teams like Bucks Buccaneers in the match on Wednesday when Okahanja United played 4-3 against young African, that the players are playing to the last minute. Yes.
Now, and I mean, we're looking at the table there, and we're looking how the dynamics could shift as of course we are about to conclude the season, and that will be tomorrow. But if we're looking at the shift now and all teams trying to get the top 8, especially teams that are away from home, what do you make of the last days of the season or the last games of the season and playing away from home?
No, I think, you see, it all depends from how they prepare for away games, especially depending on the points and where you are in the log and who you are playing and what is the other dynamics, because they have to not only looking at their game, but they have to look also elsewhere. How are the other competitors within that top 8 is performing and the results oriented. So it's very important for the coaches and the technical team to be able to manage. This is now game management, because you need to say, okay, let's play, because we are watching the other game.
Yes.
What is the result? Do we go all out, or do we play, what they call nowadays, low block, or do we attack all? So it's different dynamics. So I will say that it's exciting also for the technical team, and from a technical point of view, how the coaches will manage the games, especially in the top 8. How do we go full out? Because if you go full out, you might get a break, the other team can get a break and get a goal, and then all of a sudden, you have to chase the game, which will open you up at the back. So it's game management, and I think that's what makes football very unpredictable and very exciting. Is to make you, because a few years ago when Jose Mourinho came to the Premier League, and this is actually what he had, because Manchester United was dominating, but then Jose came and changed how he set up Chelsea with compact and strong and have a good counter attack. So it's the same, how the coaches will, and it will be good tactically also for the involvement of the coaching.
Now, I mean, we're speaking about not only is it exciting for the top of the table, but also it's a very sad day or sad weekend as we're seeing Tigers, the oldest team in Namibian football, who has never been relegated. They are going to be relegated. It has officially been confirmed last weekend, but this weekend they are going to be playing their last 2 matches for that is, of course, the season. Never relegated, created or formed in 1927, about to reach a century, but now we're seeing that they're going to be relegated.
Yeah, the past 2 seasons, or the 3 seasons, Tigers have been fighting for relegation. And like my boss said previously, these traditional 4 big clubs in Namibian football. But he mentioned something earlier that where he said that he is happy to see that outside teams, outside Commerce region, they are coming back into the game, into the big league. Why? Because it's now evident that our NFA has been developing outside Windhoek. Back then, it was only Commerce, and everybody used to stream to Windhoek with the hope to the Golden City and the Promised Land. But now we have teams like Chula Chula, we have teams like Waipis in South, we have teams like Julino there in Rundu. So slowly, the focus is shifting from Commerce to outside. And unfortunately, for a big club like Tigers, the reality is now here. As we say in English, the fat lady is sing, but it's also a learning curve now to say that they can come back. Yesterday, the team that started the English Premier League, Coventry City, got promoted. So Tigers can maybe do it.
Well, of course, we get to remember or just go down memory lane of our Tigers. We are now seeing the feed coming live from the Independent Stadium in Windhoek. The teams are warming up. UNAM with coach, that is Robert Nauseb, is warming up. And we're seeing the visuals live and in color. Just seeing how, UNAM is going to possibly be the stoppage block in that is Stars contention, or they could possibly be the hurdle they will overcome. That is this afternoon. Now, on the other side, of course, we are seeing that is African Stars. They are also as well warming up. Now, African Stars is at home in this encounter, and they are under that is coach Elemu going into this one. They call him father, and possibly he's going to be the father that's going to make the miracle for that is African Stars. They are, of course, that is the defending champions. 3 consecutive titles under their belts, 2 with that is a Deb Marine, and that is 3 with Deb Marine, and possibly their first with the NPFL. So we are looking at possibly quite that is very, very looking at that is the encounter here going to be very interesting. I mean, if we're looking at that is UNAM, they have quite a solid defense. They have been unbeaten, possibly into the 20s, second half of the season, without conceding. Of course, it is a defeat. What do you make of them facing African Stars in this encounter with that kind of defense?
No, I think I'm looking forward to this game, because you see, you have on the other side Robert and his team, which has really been setting up, like you rightly say, solidly, because that's why they are unbeaten. And I think for them today is to keep that record, because I think it's something to be proud of, that even though you are not in contention, but you have actually reached a point where you are unbeaten, and that will be an extra motivation for next season. On the other side, you have Stars now. Like I've said earlier, from a tactical point of view, how does Stars approach? They have 1 point. They have to look at what Chula is doing. If Chula win and they draw, all of a sudden the things change, and it's a very exciting day tomorrow again. So Stars, Stars, the team, from a tactical point of view, I'm very interested to see how they will approach. Will they go all out together, early goal, or will they see how the game management, like I was saying earlier, having one eye on what Chula is doing and how to approach. But at the end of the day, is that football, you have to score to win.
Yeah.
So, and that is what makes football exciting, because, nobody wants 0-0 draw, everybody's excited to see today. So you have Robert on the one side that is more solid, and that wants to keep his record. And then you have Stars that wants to kill it off today, to win it. So it's very tactically, we have to see how the two coaches have prepared their teams for this. And for Namibian football, to be honest, for local Namibian football, this is very exciting, because you have the players, you have the support, yes, and then obviously you have the technical teams. So everything comes together. That's what they have been working towards at the end of, for Stars to be in this position, and for UNAM to be in a position where they can actually say, we have achieved something this season which we can build on. So for Namibian football, I'm very happy, and I hope that we will continue building on that.
Yeah, this is a big moment that requires big players. Do you think UNAM can step up to the game and challenge African Stars?
Jovita, looking at the warm-up here, what I like about, like Mapo said, about our local football is we have to look at the technical teams. You see, on the side of African Stars, you have the former Brave Warriors goalkeeper, Atil Paha, goalkeeper coach. Here on UNAM, you have Heri January. And these were players that played season out, season in for big clubs during the NPFL season, some for Brave Warriors. And they have that experience where they can also assist the technical team, the Robert Nosebs on UNAM side, and also further their own African Star side. Back to UNAM, the team that everybody was looking forward. I think at one point here, I was the one that echoed to say that I hope that they can go all the way undefeated. And Robert Nosebs used to be a defender. His father was a very, very famous defender there at BMC in Ochvarango. And that's what you see in at UNAM. From the days of Kaiser Chiefs, BMC and Orlando Pirates here, he has brought that same mentality and tactic and approach to UNAM. And that's why they have considered the less goals. For today, I hope there will be the party spoilers for us neutrals, because as we are only watching games from the neutral side. But personally, I would love to see that someone besides African Stars can also win the league, so that we can say that what type of masters we have to go and play in the African Champions League, which requires to win the NPFL title. Yeah.
Now let's look at how it concluded all at the Oshakati Independent Stadium. KK Palace and Bucks Buccaneers played out to a 2-2 draw, and we're seeing some of those visuals coming from live from that encounter that just ended, and we're just seeing how it played out. But nonetheless, for that is KK Palace and Bucks Buccaneers, it ends in a 2-2, of course, draw. Would you say a victory, loss, looking at both sides and the stakes here in this game?
No, I think KK Palace can be proud of what they have achieved this season. To be honest, they have come back in the Premier League again, and like you said, early in the season they were top of the log. So I think what they have set out for the season is what they have achieved. I think for them, it's a win for this season, to be honest. Yeah. And I think they are reaching the top 8, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So that's a very good, and then you see, that will be good for the football in the northern area, because now you have two key teams, Chula and KK Palace. That will be only good for development and to have a more wider pool of players for our national team to be more competitive at that line. So I think from the Bucks Buccaneers, they have been in the season, this is where they were. you know, in the middle of the table, whole season, you know, a little bit up, a little bit down. So I think also for them, they have been average in that area. So I think they should be happy to go away from home and at the tail end of the season, get a draw and try to build on moving forward on that.
Now, if we're looking at after this encounter and how the table looks like for those teams, KK Palace find themselves in the 5th spot, and Bucks Buccaneers is just right out of the top 8, and that is number 9. So that means for them tomorrow a difficult game that they must win.
Yes, Bucks Buccaneers, if you want to go into the top 8, they have to beat Chula Chula tomorrow. But that will also depend how the results go today. And the match earlier today, KK Palace against Bucks Buccaneers, we have not, let's not forget that the coach of Bucks Buccaneers used to coach KK Palace. And Bucks Buccaneers stole him from KK Palace. So I think he was trying to prove a point to KK Palace, while the players of KK Palace wanted to say that, hey, our former coach, you can't come and beat us here because you left us for greener pastures at Bucks Buccaneers here. So as we can see on the log, KK Palace has now 42 points. So they've qualified for the top 8 because team number 9 has 38 points. So it's 4 points difference. So they can catch KK Palace. So KK Palace is 100% secured. It's now only Bucks Buccaneers who must fight tomorrow against Chula Chula, hoping that Chula Chula today might beat Young African and UNAM and African Stars. Whatever might happen. Might happen.
But also going to be, of course, just hearing from the coaches on that side, Shakati, what, of course, their views are after this encounter is ended. And we'll be listening to that is both coach from KK Palace and, of course, Bucks Buccaneers. Let's take a look at what they have to say.
Control the ball in the edge of the box, foul, goal. So we take a draw.
Would you say it's a fair reflection of how the game played out today?
No, we had chances. We had chances. If you can see how many times we hit the post, probably 3 times there. Unfortunately, you win some, you lose some, you draw some. That's the name of the game.
Did you have to adjust anything tactically during the game?
I know we just wanted to stretch them out since they were congested inside. Their play was inside, so we wanted to open them up, which works for us. Unfortunately, we had our chances, which we didn't bury. But yeah, tough luck. I'll take a draw.
Maybe final words before we let you go.
I know. Final words. We are just going back to the drawing board and come back tomorrow. Continue working. It's a progress. So yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, that is, of course, the coach of KK Palace, just giving us, of course, the views there after the encounter. I mean, you rightfully heard what the coach had to say.
Yeah, I think he's straightforward, honest. I think he wanted to say more than what he was asked because he's back at home. He was coaching KK Palace there at Ongodiva. And being back home and trying to prove a point against your former club, it's something very precious because you want to tell them that that's why bigger money came and lured me away from you guys. But the 2-2 draw at the last minute, I think both teams will take it as a win.
Well, let's look at those statistics right there. Looking at the attempt, looking at both sides, we're kind of on par, and then the targets as well. I mean, my boss, if you just can take us through those stats there as we get to unpack this game.
Yeah, I think if you look at the result 2-2 and the stats, that it was really a well-balanced game, and even the attempts 8-6 or like this. So I think it's a well-balanced game. It's because at the end of the season, players are tired. And for Bucks, most probably they traveled, and they wanted to really have a good result, to have an opportunity or a chance for a top 8 position. Now it's very difficult because of who they are playing tomorrow. Because whatever the results are today, Chula will want to go out on a high, not to disappoint their people tomorrow as well. So it's a very difficult game for if you look at what a shot at the goal by the striker. So I think it's a very, and what a goal, beautiful with the head. Yeah. So you can see, the tactics, the techniques of the players have improved. So that is good for the Namibian football and for the Premier League at that level. So I think for KK Palace, it's a very good result to cement their place in the top 8 and actually to be in top 5. It's a very, from coming back from the first division and to reach that stage. And for me, I think it's a win for the season for KK Palace. I cannot agree more on that one.
KK Palace, this is their second season in the Namibia Premier Football League. They came last season, 2024-25 season, and we're seeing that they are staying for another season, of course, going into 2026-7 season. And this time around, the league is going to be, of course, that is independent, as we have been informed that the league is going independent. But also, following this encounter, as it ended at the Oshakati Independent Stadium, we are going to be witnessing that is Eshoke Chula Chula taking on that is their rivals in this encounter, Okahanja United, and this is how the teams have arrived at, of course, the stadium. This is Eshoke Chula Chula just making their way on their home ground that is turf, and as if you know, Eshoke is also called, that is the pride of the north, and they pull a large number of spectators, so we want to see, of course, those visuals. We'll see later if they're able to pull those numbers again, but this is just how the team is arriving. The mood look a bit lively. The players look quite lovely as they are arriving. They look like there's no pressure.
Yeah, Jovina, this is the time where the butterflies in the stomach, they are calling you. I mean, you can see the Chula Chula players are relaxed. You can see the socks and the blankets and all this stuff. And I think, I mean, they have already adapted to the weather. It's home, and they have nothing to lose. I think Mapo said it now earlier. KK Palace already achieved the goal. That's to remain in the league and qualifying for the top 8. Chula Chula giving African Stars. And let's not forget, Chula Chula was deducted 3 points. Yeah. So had those 3 points not been deducted, they were today 2 points ahead of African Stars. So I think Chula Chula, honestly, they have achieved their milestone already. And winning the title, for us, the neutrals, it's going to be something massive. So I think let them go and enjoy the moment and stomach it in and take it as it comes.
Yeah, there we have Okahanja United also. They arrived a bit early, and we saw, of course, that they got to watch, of course, the previous game. They came to the stadium quite relaxed. I mean, if a team is coming to watch another encounter, that means that they are ready. Or does it mean that they're just looking at competition for tomorrow as well?
No, obviously they have to think about tomorrow as well. That's why they came early. But I think most importantly, if you play Chula away, you know the expectation and the crowd and everything. So it's better to come early and get the atmosphere and be part of it. Then some of the players can relax more. So I think that's why the technical team most probably advised to come early to be at the stadium and to get the atmosphere and then make the players more comfortable and relax. Obviously, before the game there will be 1 or 2 butterflies, before you go into it. But once you are on the pitch, then you are very relaxed as a player. But it's just those few 10 minutes before the game. So I think to be honest, on the game between Chula and Okahanja, I think Chula, as you can see, they were very relaxed, very confident, but be careful not to be overconfident. But they look for me very confident, and I think to be a team of the North, to come and win the league, that is a big motivation and inspiration, and I think that is driving them, and to break that cycle of stars, So it's a very let us wait for a couple of hours and see what will happen today.
Yeah. I mean, we're all rightfully waiting forward to that. It's 4:30. 30 more minutes to go before the ball can get rolling at both stadiums. Now, Eshoke Chula Chula, this is their 3rd season in the Namibia Premier Football League. They entered in 2022-23 season. They survived that one, and in that first season, they also got to win. That is the Dr. Heidenkoop Cup, and then we saw them entering again or remaining in the season for the 2023-24 season, and then we're seeing them, of course, again for the 2025-26 season, and this time around they are vying for top honors. I mean, 3 seasons in and already contenders for the title. Yeah,
that's a massive progression from 0 to 100. I remember our first match when I was coaching Pirates under Coach Ali. I was assistant there when we played Chula Chula at the rugby stadium, and that day I told even Coach Ali, I said, wow, where are these people coming from? Yeah. And that's what Chula Chula brought 2023. They revived the meaning of crowd in Namibian football, because there was an era where crowd disappeared from Namibian Premier League since DSTV and all those things came in. And when Chula Chula came in, everybody, they started to follow football left and right. People were asking, what is this team? Where are they from? Even me as a Tamara-speaking Namibian, today I know what the word Chula Chula means. So that's what Chula Chula brought. They have revived different tribes. And I'm glad that they are part of it. And I hope that today, this is a good advertisement for Namibian football.
Yeah.
From NPC to the media to the stakeholders, everybody. And I'm looking forward to it.
Well, there we have the visuals at the Independence Stadium. How ironic is it that we will have the title being won at an Independence Stadium? Nonetheless, whether Independence Stadium in Windhoek or Independence Stadium in Oshakati, the game will be won at an Independence Stadium. Let's talk about, you know, the historicness of the Independence Stadium and just how it plays a huge role in Namibian football.
Yeah, firstly, I think it's quite important, simple, that you know, at both Independence Stadium in Oshakati and here at the Windhoek Independence Stadium, that the title deciders are being put there. You know, if you look at the Windhoek Stadium, which it was called before, that was, you know, where the national team, then the national team, and then most of the cup finals, you know, where the big games were played. And that has been really a very historic spot for Namibian football. You know, if we go to Katatura Stadium, for example, in those years, that was the Mecca. So, you know, this is where the people came together. Yeah. But then, you know, we have the cups to be played, the quarterfinals, the semifinals. But then when it's the final, the national team, everything was swept to the venue because of the space, because of the crowd and everything. Obviously, you know, the distance between Katatura and Olympia was that far, but, you know, people make way, and then the crowd was coming. So I think it's a very important symbol of Namibian football, and that today, once again, it will host most probably a title decider. Okay. Same in Oshakati, you know, as we know the history of our country, and Oshakati has played a significant role, you know, from pre-independence, independence, and that today, if there is an opportunity for Chula to win it from the north, there is no better place, because it's the capital city of the north, the second capital city of Namibia, they call it. So, you know, from a historical point of view. So both the Independence Stadium in Windhoek and the Independence Stadium in Oshakati is really going to have history either way, because Stars will become, you know, winning the 4th time in a row. Chula can win it the first time at the home of the soccer of North, the Mecca of the football of the North in Oshakati. So historically, in any sense, we are looking at a historic moment today or tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, I want to welcome our viewers. A very, very good afternoon to you tuning in. Of course, that is on NBC2. We are simultaneously broadcasting on NBC 1 and 2. We're going to be showing, of course, 2 big, exciting encounters. We are having African Stars and a UNAM FC that will be on NBC 1. And then on NBC 2, we will have that is a Shoke Chula Chula and Okahanja that is united. This is the NPFL title chase. And we're giving you all the breakdown, all the build up. We're giving you the predictions, the analysis right here on NBC 1 and 2. This is a historic moment for that is Namibian football. Something that we last saw a few years ago, 2013. But now it is, of course, repeating, but new contenders. But African Stars remain a dominant force in that is the title race. So we are going to, of course, be seeing very, very exciting encounters here as we give you or bring to you live round 29, both in Windhoek and in Oshakati. Now, Costa, just take us through how the scenarios can play out. If Eshoke wins, if African Stars win, if they don't win, just give us the breakdown of how it will play out with the title chase for the Namibia Premier Football League.
We all hope that today Chula Chula ain't gonna lose points because they are 1 point behind. So as we speak, before kickoff, it's advantage African Stars. So even if African Stars loses today or draw, or lose any points, doesn't matter, and Chula Chula wins, we go over to tomorrow. So tomorrow will be the final day. But the moment Chula Chula drops points today, a draw or a lose, and Stars win, because let's not forget, African Stars is having a better goal difference over Chula Chula. So if Chula Chula draw, they are equal points with Stars. And if Stars loses, both have the same points, and tomorrow it will be the final day. But Chula must not by any means drop any point. If that happens, it's goodbye, and Stars wins against UNAM, then the title is over today.
Well, that's how the predictions look like. That's how the scenarios could possibly play out. Here are just the visuals from the north as we're seeing, of course, the teams warming up. Shoke Chula warming up there, and of course at the Independence Stadium. And you'll also be seeing, of course, that is the visuals from Okahanja United. But now, Mabosa, looking at those visuals, the players right on the ball, they kind of have their presence. They know what is going to be happening today.
Yeah, I think, and if you think about it, Chula, they came in. They've been always followed by this crowd, and there was always expectations. And then obviously they played also in the Hage Geingob Cup, which was a kind of a national event. And I think they have the experience to play in big games, big matches. So I hope that if you look at them, how they are relaxed, that they can handle these expectations today. Like Costa was saying, they know they should not lose today.
Yeah.
They should not lose. So that is a great expectation. But I've seen them over the years, and I've been very impressed with how they handle pressure, you know. And you know, sometimes when you're playing when you are a young player, you know, you have nothing to fear. And that is what makes young players always very unpredictable. You know, that they come in and they don't fear anything, and they just say, I'm going to make it happen. Yeah. But then the experienced guy will say, okay, let me take my time and do this. So I think that might be a good thing for the Chula players, and they look really very relaxed. Okahanja also they are away from home, and then obviously I think today they might go for a draw. You understand? So how they set up the game, I think they might not go full out. But then they might sit down and to wait to play out for a draw. So I think you will see two different sides. I think Chula coming out, attacking, playing that fast football that we have come to know with them, while Okahanja will mostly sit and wait and try to play on counters or to play out a draw. If they get from a break, sitting and getting a break and to get a goal, that. You know, but I'm not here. I don't think they have come with a big expectations to the North, Okahanja, this time around.
But let's take a look at...
yeah, to be honest.
Yeah. My boss wants a different scenario. You want a different scenario. You're saying they shouldn't lose, but my boss is saying that rather for the victory. But let's take a look at... looking at just how Okahanja are faring right now, going into this one, they are 11th on the log. But if we're looking at the different statistics since they have been meeting, that is Okahanja United and Shoke Chula. The first season, we saw Okahanja winning 1-0, and then Chula responded with a victory. And then since then, Chula has been winning by 1-0 against Okahanja United. I mean, statistic-wise, on paper, Chula look like the better team against Okahanja United. But there is something now in the mix.
Top 8.
Yeah.
There is top 8. And I think if I'm Chula, you know, Okahanja played on Wednesday, a league match, the outstanding match against
Young African.
And they traveled 800 kilometers. So they played Wednesday evening. They had to recover Thursday. And I'm quite sure they traveled on Friday to go and rest out for today's match. Now they are chasing top 8. I'm always afraid to play against a team who has got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And that is Okahanja. Because even if they lose, they are already at 11th place. If they win, it's a bonus. And they will come out guns blazing, open-minded, freely, relaxed, because the pressure is on Chula and not them.
Let's talk about the other side, UNAM, and of course that is African Stars. African Stars and UNAM have a bit of a shaky love and hate relationship, win-victory here. But if we're looking at the past 3 seasons, we've seen that Africans, it's been a balance. Draw in between, victory, defeat for that is both sides. What do you make of that pairing, and what could be the outcome of that encounter?
Yeah, you can see that both teams are well balanced, and if you look at the results also, there's not much to say over the years, you know. But the other thing is that, you know, Stars, you know, if you look at the Mourinho Chelsea, if you look at Ferguson's United, the Real Madrid, you know, when you're in that momentum of winning championships year in, year out, you know, it becomes your life, you understand? And whether at the end of the day, it seems like losing, but from somewhere, from nowhere, something comes in.
Yeah.
And I think that is what African Stars said. And it comes through and through. You know, if you look at the season, KK Palace was there, Mighty Gunners were there, Chula was there, Ongos was challenging, UNAM said, but where are they now today? So you see, that might be the difference today and tomorrow that will carry African Stars through. And I think from
while we're at it, let's also look at the starting lineup. For that is it's a 4-5-1 for African Stars. What do you think you're going up for? And then looking at that is they're both going for 4-5-1. My boss, let's just look at those starting lineups. For that is both sides.
Yeah, I think this is now the norm. You know, if you look at globally, this is what everybody is playing, this system. And I think Stars has a settled lineup. And I think that's what they are going up today, with a well-balanced, you know, a defense that is very solid. And obviously we know their attacking has been very strong, and that's why they have a much better goal difference, because they have been scoring goals. And, you know, at the end of the day, when you are scoring goals, and then you don't depend on one guy to score goals. Yeah. You have maybe 3-4 guys to score goals. That is a very huge advantage for any team. And, you know, at the tail end, like in today's and tomorrow's game, you know, those other players, you know, when, because now Robert might say, okay, let's target the key players, but then someone else can get the hero status. So that is what, in these big clubs, you know, if you look at across, this is in the big clubs, this is what comes out. No, not that I'm downplaying the other teams, but you know, we have to accept and appreciate also what Stars has been doing, the previous, and the experience, and they want to play in the African Champions League. Yeah. And I think that is carrying them. So that is the one that is saying, guys, let's win the league again, let's try again. Because that also, on a national level, will be very good for Namibian football, not only for Stars, but also for the club level, and then obviously the development and the national team. So what I'm saying today is, Stars with their lineup today is saying, we are here to win the game. We are not here to sit down, and that we don't depend on one player to score goals. Earlier in the season, Willie was not there, but they were still competitive. They were still winning. They were still scoring. And that is the difference, you know, whether we like it or not. When you have a big club and then you have our clubs, the difference is, you know.
While we're at the clubs, and let's talk about the players. I mean, what we can, who could stand out and possibly for both sides, UNAM and there is UNAM. Who do you think could stand out and the players to look forward to in these encounters?
When I saw the first 11 of African Stars, it reminded me of last weekend. They drew 0-0 on Saturday against Chula. Sunday, Coach Father took that ownership and said, I don't mind whether you are a star. And then he benched 3 players from the first 11. And then they beat KK Palace 4-1. And that's the same players that is put in, the Manales, the ASEP, Rudath and so on, and the small boy Kamatuka. So if it's the same stars that is played against KK Palace, I'm quite sure the same first 3 lineup, they're going to be the Stars. But then also, when Awilo came in from the bench, like Mapo said, he was a part of the first round, but when he came on against KK Palace, the 2 crosses that he created goals. So that's what maybe Father said, okay, let the young boys go and run out the smaller boys of UNAM, compete with the young boys of UNAM, and while they will contain them, Awilo can come with a killer blow. So he's playing a tactical game, cat and mouse.
Well, I love that one. But let's take a look at the North. We are, of course, going to be looking at the North as well. But let's talk about, I mean, how important is this games, this moment for Namibian football going forward?
No, this is very huge for Namibian football. And I hope, you know, okay, let's leave the let's leave the soccer, let's leave the pitch aside. Huh?
Yeah.
But I hope that our administrators, both at the league and the NFL level and club level, will take advantage of these moments, moments like today, moments like tomorrow, and to build up on that. Coming to the pitch, for the players, it's huge. You know, now you are a Bucks Pacania player, you are a KK Palace player, and you are seeing, you know, the media hype around these games. We are in that space.
Let's quickly look at the lineup again. A Shoke lineup. We're going for that is 3-3-4 formation, and then we also get to look at that is Okahanja United's lineup as well for this encounter. while it's coming up, I mean, let's talk about the formation that Ashoka is going for, Costa.
Yeah, you know.
And then looking at, they also having, it's a 4-3-3 formation.
Yes. Personally, for the Chula Chula team, you know, the only surviving player, the captain, the left back. And, you know, imagine you have been part of this club in the first division and 3 years in the NFA. You have lost the Shudolos and all those guys. You are the only remaining one. I think somewhere maybe the angels are smiling down and say, maybe this one has been for you. And personally, I will hope that this one maybe go for him. But seeing the system of African Stars, the same first 11 he played last weekend, Lifasi, my favorite strong player up front there. And then again on Saturday, he played the same first 11 when they beat 2-1. They beat 2-1 Sunday.
Yeah. Well,
yes.
Yeah, while we're at it also, let's, before we dive into those players, let's also look at Okahanja United. That is their starting lineup as well. It's a 4-3-3 formation as well. The teams are going with the same formations. As we saw in Windhoek in the north, it's also the same.
Both coaches are typical modern coaches. Richard Kariseb of Okahanja and the coach of Chula Chula. They like the typical English. That's what you see currently now in the English Premier League, played by Manchester, Arsenal, Chelsea, and Liverpool. And that's what we have went go with. Only Africa is having a 4-5-1. Why? Because he's playing white. He's playing with the 2 white strong guys. That's why you have Rutaf and the Manale on the sides for African Stars. While at African Stars, you have only a simple 3 guys, hard-looking midfielders, because if you play 3 at African Stars, you have an aging sticker, so he needs someone to support him. That's why I think the coach father went with a packed 5 in the midfield here to help sticker, because you have to consider the age, you know. So that's why Richard Karisep is a modern coach. He's almost my age, and that's why he's going for the 4-3-3 system.
Yeah, I mean, if we're looking at, we were speaking of Ashoka Chula Chula and what you like. Let's talk about the players again that you like, that would stand out, and also for Okahanja, who do you think would stand out and possibly, you know, come to the party today?
Senior Babo said now something that this is a good advertisement for NFA and NPL, and he mentioned that a player of KK Palace must now sit and say, imagine next season it can be us playing the last match and being showcased all over Namibia and maybe abroad, because some people have DSTV in South Africa, Botswana.
It's also live on YouTube.
Yes, yeah. YouTube. So this is a good advertisement, and I think for the broader game of soccer in Namibian Premier League and NFA, it's a good motivation for any player, even the teams that were relegated today, Tigers and all those stuff, to say that, why can't I be like African Stars? And also for the Brave Warriors coach, I think Colin Biaman can smile today. Why? It's on the platform. It's easy now for him to pick the players. Right wing against right back, left back against striker.
Well, before we cross, quick prediction for the first half.
For both games?
Yes.
I think Chula 1-0. Stars will be 0-0 first half.
Stars and UNAM 1-1 and Chula 2-0.
Well, let's of course cross over to that Oshakati Independent Stadium. The teams are going to be walking out of the tunnel. It's the first 45 minutes of this encounter. It is the title chase. We are at the Independent Stadium, of course, in Windhoek. Looking at, of course, that is the teams walking out. We are going to be seeing African Stars taking on that is UNAM. It's a title race. It's a title chase for that is African Stars, top of the table. And of course, they will be seeing what they can do in the first 45 minutes. You heard the predictions right here. So you're crossing over to that encounter. While of course we're going to also cross over to that is the north. We're going to be seeing the players also at the Independent Stadium.
Hello, Namibia, and a warm welcome to the Independence Stadium in the capital city of Namibia. This is the D weekend of the Namibian Premier Football League. It is the final stretch of the last 2 games. I am Chester Wamunika here in the commentary box, joined by Edison Muhewa. Edison, shortly, what a game that we're expecting here.
Of course, Chester, I think as a football player, these are the type of games where you don't need any motivation. These are the type of games that you dream of.
the dominant red shirts and white shorts. UNAM in the dominant white shirts and red shorts. It is a game that African Stars have not been winning in the last few seasons. In the last 5 games, African Stars have not beat UNAM once. So it is 2 victories for UNAM in the last 5 games and 3 draws between the 2 sides. So it's a mammoth task for African Stars against the students. It is UNAM themselves that are looking to move up the table. They are currently sitting in number 6 on the log, and they will want to push up a little bit more and see where they will end. Title chances not in their books right now, but they have a big say as to who is going to win this title, and we are looking forward to see who are the winners of the title. It might be decided today, and the referee there, Pietro Samutenya, Erastes, Donald Taukira, those are the referees that are given a huge task. We're saying the title might be decided today if African Stars get 3 points here and Ashoke Chula Chula fail to get points in Oshakati. Then African Stars will not need the 3 points in tomorrow's match against FC Ongos. The African Stars lineup are coming with a 4-2-3-1 formation with Edna Kamasuka being trusted in the center forward ahead of Bombo, and then is Godwin Asep and Wendell Rutas as well. Malane been supportive of him. Willie Stefanesi himself on the bench here. The 2 lockers is Okeri and Himekwa Stikakashiere in the halting midfield for African Stars. It is maybe raising questions why Willie Stefanis is on the bench, but also Nesta Iyambo from UNAM not starting. As you can see, jersey number 10 there on the bench, starting with Venomandero in front, Romario Narip and Siririka on supporting with Paulus Amutenya, the top goal scorer, the man to watch there for UNAM, and Ferdinand Amutenya will be the lock. They are playing with 3 at the back. Robert Nosep, the former African Stars himself, he will want to challenge African Stars in this one and deny them a title. If it has to come to that, Robert Nosep, former African Stars coach, took over from Ronnie Canalelo, who will be in action tomorrow against African Stars as well. And it is looking like it is all set up for a titanic match here. Edison, your views?
It's definitely set up for a beautiful match. First and foremost, Chester, we really, we can talk about the infrastructural status of the Independence Stadium, but I tell you one thing you cannot look away from, it's how beautiful the pitch is this afternoon. It's absolute carpet here, and you expect 2 teams that are very much tactical, 2 teams with brilliant ball players, so you expect a match with a lot of ball rotation, with a lot of ball movements, a lot of tactical and technical switches from the coaches. It will be very, very interesting. And of course, that call from Coach Elemu to bench Willow, how massive would that be in the penultimate game of the season? I think so many, a little bit of interesting facts that are coming to the fore here. But yeah, in terms of football, I think this is set up to be a blockbuster. With just how much nerves is it going to be on both sides, that we'll have to see.
We'll have to see. It is gonna be either today or tomorrow. The league title will be decided. It's going to be either African Stars or Ashoke Chula Chula. Those are the 2 teams in the running currently, unless if they really, really throw it away, maybe an outside chance for the other teams to see and what they can grab. If Stars and Ashoke Chula Chula fail to win both their matches, it looked like a very unlikely scenario here. As we are waiting to get underway, but African Star, as I said, it is one of the tough games for them to face UNAM at this stage. It's a team that they have not beaten in 2 years and a half where we are now. The last 2 games, African Stars have really not collected maximum points. Those the games they played in Oshakati against Shoke Chula Chula, they needed 3 points there just to give them a breather, but Shoke Chula Chula hauled them to a goalless draw, and then they went on to win KK Palace by 4-1, and that have brought the situation to the current moment where we are now. African Star leading Shoke Chula Chula by a single point. And on the other hand, UNAM have won their last 2 games and collect maximum points. And we're waiting to see that Paulo Samutenya to get us underway here as the referee is delaying a game a little bit, waiting for the time to be exactly 4:30 before allowing the match to continue. Remember that the match between Shoke Chula Chula and Okahanja United is playing at the same time. So these games have to start at the same time. I hope that is in the mind of the men in the middle, the referee, to get us underway, and he's taking his time. We're not gonna get underway, and maybe a chance for you, Edison, to give us your views currently ahead of this one.
Look, I think from a neutral, strictly from a neutral point of view, everybody would want to see attacking football. 2 very good teams out there. You'd expect quite a bit of rotation from the UNAM team, especially with Ronaldo Kauvi, who's really come of age in this season. I think it's his best season yet, out far on the left-hand side. But so many good players across the field, and none so less than Paulo Samutenya, who will be massive for this game in the middle of the park for UNAM.
And it's already African Stars with Wendell Rudath. And it's a long ball in the box. The goalkeeper tested here. And great from Owen Lulu Garisep, the goalkeeper of UNAM, well experienced at the age of 28. Lulu, those should not be troubling. Wendell Rudath will be vital for African Stars. His communication there, and UNAM will be very happy to get this one from a goal kick. Yambo. Rudath. Now can the students do something here? A first goal will be very vital. Gideon, position. And the referee says that should be a free kick towards the students. Have been in and around the top half of the table, but not really have the challenge for the title. I think it's about time that Robert Nosep, maybe for next season, looking to get his team up and running and maybe cause some upset and challenge for the title. But they have been around Edison, not quite in the mix for challenging the title.
Yeah, I think it comes down to the mandate that Robert has been given. I don't think that his contract says that he should go and win the title. I think UNAM are very happy to have a mix of players that are students as well as players that are not students, to try and beef up the team. And in so doing, try and maybe sell some players if at all there's an opportunity to do so. But yeah, I don't think that, and it's quite interesting. Just I think they have it in them to really go out and put a challenge on anyone who's up there. But yeah, no, they haven't been doing that at all, ever have they?
Cool play under pressure there, and Charles Sambira pumps it up front, and it's gonna be a throw-in for UNAM. UNAM to take a throw-in here, and it is Kauvi. Oh, lovely feed there, but dispossessed. Free kick will go to African Stars. As Kahingunga wins the free kick there for African Stars, but it is Itapingaruka. Cheaply given away, and now it's a chance here for UNAM big number 9 to try and see what he can do. Kanjo, but well, it is possessed by African Stars, and now they are going here is ASAP. Cheaply given away. Amtenya scored 4 for UNAM this season. Paulus Amutenya, the man to watch for UNAM, and that was a waste. Yambo couldn't locate his marker there. African Stars rebuilding from the back again. Ambira, one of the well-experienced player at this level, as well as national level. Charles Ambira, former Tura Magic player, started making his name before joining African Stars. Now here comes Malane, who handled the ball, and that was all happening under the nose of the referee, and it will be a free kick to the students. Clever boys.
I think Malane has been a revelation in Namibian football. He's really been a fantastic import for Namibian football. Quality across. He can play right back, he can play in the middle, and he can play off, or he can operate off the right-hand side where he is now currently operating from.
Mostly, and I see him now being playing in the more advanced role, like I said. Came here as a right back, but is now being used in a more advanced role, and he was on target when last weekend against KK Palace, getting African Stars off the mark there in that particular game.
I think it's always so refreshing when the scouting network does its job and it brings a player of that quality. Oftentimes, you question the players that comes to the Namibian Premier League, and they sort of bench the players that that are local, and yet the quality is not there. There's quality that we have. You know,
and now it's a chance here for African Stars. Wendell Rudolph unleashed that one, and quick block there. And Wendell Rudolph already with 2 goals on his name this season. And most of these goals is coming from a distance. He wanted to try one there.
Yeah, no, and that's the fluidity of the African Stars front three. They will move and intertwine. They have the license to do so, and he made a run from the left-hand side, found himself in the box.
Corner kick to be taken. It's a good ball, but Godwin ASAP there is the person that was closer to the action than anyone, but not quite. African Stars are trying to benefit on that. I think they should do more on those set pieces. They have the bigger players in Charles Hambira at the back to try and capitalize on that. Malane now in the box looking for Kamatuka, well marshaled by the UNAM defenders. Looking after that, the likes of Onesmus Martin and Joseph Bonifacius. Will be a throw-in. And Kahigunga will have a quick throw-in here. Finds Malane. Kahigunga back to Kahigunga, and now Kasetura. There is an experienced defender in Kahingunga, taking advantage of that fact that you have just alluded to, Edison, of Malane now being more in advance and make his this right back position now Kahingunga his.
Absolutely, and yeah, we'll have to see whether African Stars want to do that going into Africa, if they do it, get to Africa, or whether they'll have some reinforcements or bring Malane back. But this is an opportunity for him, Kahingunga, that is to try and raise his hand in that. He's been a bit inconsistent in terms of making the first 11 for African Stars in his tenure here.
Bit overcooked there from Charles Hambira. Good Hambira with a mistake there, but well assisted by Okeri. Here is Keshere now.
Knock it first.
Stars looking to knock it around. UNAM defensive. Looking for Kanjo. But there is Kauvi all the way back to Beneficius. Martin. That's now Kamatuka couldn't connect with Wendell Ruda there. And UNAM takes over now, control of the ball with Namib. Position again, given away, and it will be a throw-in for UNAM.
Yeah, it's quite a KGF in the opening stages of the match. You would expect that both teams trying to fill each other up, but also the rotations in midfield not coming much to the fore. I expect a good midfield battle, especially with two of my candidates for player of the season, just in Paule Samutenya and Okeri Guarambuka. I think they've really been massive this season.
Very much so. And then their
Go down, go down, go down.
assistant is more needed here now to get and wrap up the title. On the bicycle here. Well kept in play by Siririka. Position cheaply given away. UNAM can regain, but the throw-in goes to UNAM. Kauvi can quickly get that in.
We start now. Wella, start moving. Everyone got in.
Lovely play, Martin now all the way back.
Wella.
Keeper clears. Still find his men. Namib.
Don't step far. We strong.
Lovely play. Here is Khitio now for UNAM. They're pushing forward. Amtenya.
Why?
What
We
can
beat
they do
them.
now? Kauvi. Amtenya running across the pitch to receive the ball. Shows why he is very important for UNAM. Trying to get the play,
Watch your line.
connect the midfield with the striking force.
Who's coming
Khitio
quick?
lovely played and kept it in play.
Okay, boy. Let's raise
Now
it, guys.
he will
Let's
settle
raise
for a
it.
throw-in.
Let's raise it. We're a bit flat. We're a bit flat.
Quick one.
Push everyone.
Finds
Let's
Kanjo.
talk to each other. We're a bit flat.
Kanjo. And it's a lovely ball. No one to meet that one. And
Yes, Wella.
Ronaldo Kauvi
Let's push. Let's push.
will give African Stars a throwing deep in their own half.
I just think that sometimes strikers, I'm not really a fan of strikers going out wide and crossing a ball. That ball should be targeted to him, and he's crossed and nobody is there, rightfully so, because he's expected to be in that spot.
Malane. Well defended by Iyambo. Now Asep. Oh, lovely 10 from Asep. Referee says play on. Here is Paulus Amtenya. It's a lovely 1-2. He cuts to Amtenya. It's a lovely ball. And into the box. It's offside against the big man. Ferdinand Amtenya.
The big striker, Kaju, was really well positioned in that instance. That's where you want him to be. And I'm just wondering whether the ball from, the initial ball from Amutenya outside could not have been spotted. the run of Kaju was really well stationed in midfield.
You need to take Stiga, need to come out.
Robert, both coaches on their feet, including the UNAM coach Robert Nosep, giving instructions. Now here's Wendell Rutath looking for Vanessa Kamatuka, looking at the referee, and the referee give a yellow card for Relegation. I think
One needs to come out.
I mean, the quickness with his he got up and we get an opportunity to see here Chulu. I mean, he just went down. I think it was too cheap for him to have gone down that easily. But then the way he stood up so quickly, I think that the referee is justified in giving him a yellow card on that instance.
One goes, one cover.
It's a quick throw from Gideon. Temisa will have to throw in.
No pushing, no holding.
Temisa came in as a midfielder, been converted into a left back. Also for African Stars, modern left backs also are required to have some skills and also overlap most of the time. Call them wing backs nowadays.
Now he's been quick in warming up to the African Stars faithful. They really have taken to him and they love him. Shitemitha.
Quick one round. Owen will see this one out for a goal kick. Well experienced Owen in goal is the reason why UNAM doesn't really concede many at the moment. Not a team that will give you lots of goals away. Currently they have given away only 20 goals, UNAM, compared to African Stars that have conceded 18. So 2 goals difference in terms of goals against. There is African Stars looking to put some energy behind their passes and their attacks. Malane.
Quick. One. Yes.
They want to make it as fast as possible across the pitch this side, and it will be a throw into the champions, defending champions, whatever you want to call them. That's who they are now. Until here is Godwin Asep. Misunderstanding between him and Edma Kamatuka. And it's very interesting that African Stars is playing without an out-and-out striker, your traditional number 9 orthodox striker. He's playing with more creativity than original orthodox strikers at this moment.
And that highlighted in that passage of play with some little intricate passes. That's what they're trying to look for, to try and unlock the compact UNAM defense. Of course, we know that UNAM, all the owners really will be on African Stars to try and unlock their defense. UNAM will be well within their rights to set deep and to enjoy the game. I think African Stars have opted to not go for a traditional center forward, and they are very fluid in the attack with little nifty customers and tricksters in the likes of Edwin Gesep, or Edwin Asep rather, who's operating in that little number 10 pocket. But they can, of course, switch up positions with him and Edwin Kamatuka. I think at some point in this game we will witness that.
So it's UNAM with a free kick now.
We're shifting. We win that one, winner. It's okay.
Out of play. And all the updates from the Oshakati Independent Stadium.
We don't allow them to have their spaces.
Somebody have found the back of the net. And let's look at it. It is a shot that came. And it is an attempt from Okahanja United. Oh, that was nearly there. Just went over the bar, not a goal. It remains goalless at that stadium. So it's goalless here, and African Stars, as it stands, still lighting the log.
Yeah, I think, and there you see, I think that snippet providing a view of proceedings there. Nashoke Chula Chula on the back foot. A lot of people suggesting that they've gotten the easier of the two fixtures, but nothing is really given for granted in Namibian football, is it?
Definitely.
In swing.
Now, goes too wide there from Ronald Kauvi. Have scored 3 goals for UNAM.
I always tell you,
he's been absolutely massive. The youngster from Omashete, this is his best season yet. Has finally commanded a starting position consistently in on the left-hand side of that UNAM wing back slash left back role, which they alternate in.
That's a lovely ball, find Kahingunga and puts it in the box, easy, defended by the students. Keshiere Malane, the man from Lesotho, puts it in there. And it's gonna be the African Stars to throw in. Here is Malane. Garuka. All the way back to Kasetura. African Stars want UNAM to get out of their own half.
Oh, Raf! Ferdi! He's jumping over! Ferdi! Control him!
And,
you alone!
African Stars coach should be a little bit worried of Edma Kamatuka already on a yellow and keeps on challenging the referee's decision.
Yeah, he's quite feisty, can be a feisty player or character, Edma Kamatuka. He'll be best warned to keep his cool, really, after a needless or a rather soft yellow card.
Lovely play there from Yambo. Now can the students, Kauvi couldn't get to that miscommunication with the passes there.
Let's play quicker!
From Siririka to Kauvi. Garuka. Kahingunga. Kept in play, but here is Siririka now for UNAM. All the way back.
Next.
Now, what can the students do? Amutenya. Ferdinand Amutenya, that's out of play.
We are ready now.
And it will be
Let's go now, high tempo.
a goal kick to
the play. We continue.
20 minutes, over 20 minutes in the game, nothing exciting from the two sides, but maybe now. Kahingunga position again, Shipley handed over to UNAM. Siririka couldn't capitalize on that. Here is Kajo, the big striker, forced into the corner and wins a throw-in.
Quite some nervy changes in position from African Stars midfielders, giving the ball away cheaply and not connecting the defense and midfield. I think is their biggest problem or issue right now. UNAM are very comfortable with this. They don't mind setting, absorbing, and then releasing the likes of Ronaldo Kauvi to deliver for Kaju.
It's going to be a throw-in for the African Stars in the first half the first round of the league. The two sides play to a 1-all draw. UNAM goal scored by Nesta Yambo, who's on the bench. Still to come. And African Stars, Tuli Nakhifwa scored for African Stars that day. Tuli Nakhifwa not with African Stars anymore. He is now in South Africa with Richards Bay in the PSL. African Stars also lost services of Chahikika, Akonja Chahikika, who's in Zimbabwe with Platinum. So those are two big players that African Stars have lost this season and might be vital for the title, for them to win the title. Here is the shot! Oh! Well saved from Edma Kamatuka with the shot, and comfortable save in the end from Owen Garrison.
That's exactly why he's operating where he's operating, closer to goal. Edma Kamatuka. He's really good with both feet, and Owen does absolutely brilliant. I think he took the sting out of that ball with the first touch, and he needed a second one to finally get a hold of it.
Let's look at it again, Edison.
It's not a difficult, an easy technique that from Edma. It's on his weaker right-hand side, but Owen is really well positioned and then does well on the second attempt as well. Very good goalkeeping that, but good all-round play from both teams.
Actually made the difficult shot look easy.
Absolutely, and that's what you get from a player with good technique.
Free kick now for African Stars. Kerry in the box well. Warambuka not the best. Tenya well defended by Chitemisa.
Throw from here, player. Relax. Shift Malan.
Yambo all the way back to Martin.
Okay, watch your line.
Owen risky, but good enough at the moment. Cheaply given away by Martin.
Quickly, boy, quickly and change.
Temisa will have all the time in the world to turn and pick his pass. Finds Warabuka. His communication now. The students, can they benefit from this? Namib. Well defended by Garuka. Temisa help it out, and it will be
who's coming in?
Throw in. Quick throw. Kanjo. Big striker will keep Hambira busy. And he does well, Kanjo. And that's a free kick against Paulus. Against Godwin Asep. Paulus Amtenya is the man that is fouled. The danger man for UNAM. Edison?
Yes, I think that's a free kick in a really good position. Nothing, I think that's a clear foul. And the referee does well there. Again, an opportunity for Ronaldo. His last one from this side wasn't really well taken, but he's got an opportunity to redeem himself here. He's banked in a free kick at the UNAM Stadium a couple of weeks back. From a much more better angle than that. This is pretty acute, but let's see whether he'll want to maybe put it in the mixer or take on a shot from there, one of those cross-cam shots. But he's gotten some advice from his coach off the screen, and let's see what the thoughts are.
Look like Paulo Samtenya is okay to continue, although he will spend some few minutes out, minutes off the pitch. It's customary for every player that got treated, you need to go out and re-enter the pitch. But in the meantime, UNAM with a great opportunity here. It's Kauvi. Well defended. Tried to go for goal from that accurate angle, but African Stars defenders were well away. And now out of play and allow Amutenya to come back into the pitch. ASAP. Kahingunga. Overlap. That well read situation, well read by Bonifacius. Keshiere now. And cuts back inside, that's overcooked. From the former Brave Warriors captain.
Had to turn on afterburners that time, Ronald Keshiere. He has, I think, given an indication of his future in the week that has just passed, in that he said as long as his legs can continue, he'll carry on until 40.
That's very interesting. He's currently 37, so he can still play for another 3 if the legs allows.
Quite a very difficult task that Chulu has to deal with. The really huge UNAM central defenders getting better to that time.
That's straight into the hands of Owen Garisep. Quickly release Yambo. Simeone Yambo.
We're closing!
It's a lovely ball. Malane will be happy to see that one into touch for African Stars. Be a goal kick for African Stars. It remains goalless here.
Okay, tell Puksa to play also. Let him play if he can play. Turn and go. Let's go, Chulu. Let's go.
To look at the game, UNAM have nothing to lose here.
Yeah.
African Stars with everything to play for.
Yeah.
And it have not shown, apart from the shot that Edmaka Matuka forced Owen Garisep into a save.
Absolutely right about that, Chester. I think the onus really sits with African Stars to try and unlock that UNAM defense. And so far, in terms of attacking impetus, there hasn't really been that much. But African Stars, with the experience that they have, I think they won't panic. They know how difficult it is. So it's a matter of keeping your calm and making sure that you do what you need to do.
Corner kick on the money. It's there within. UNAM struggling to clear. They finally did. But Mutenya puts it back. And Owen Garisep show experience and calm the nerves of the UNAM defenders. Elemu, the coach, also looking to win his first league title.
Boys, come on.
The
Again,
African Stars
again,
coach
we play
at the helm.
We're going faster. Go back, Chalo, go back, Chalo.
I'd be very inexperienced as a coach, but with experienced player that have been there, done that before. Elimu as a coach.
Absolutely. I think one of his teams that made him famous in Namibia, Life Fighters that is, has been relegated this season, and as interesting as Life is, he is fighting to win the title.
Okay, stay, boy.
Well
Okay,
said.
stay there, boy.
Edison.
Player. You are going far. Yes. Hold position, please.
And now here is Mutenya. Man that they need to watch.
Okay.
Paulo Mutenya with 4 goals on his name. And he's on the top of the chart as far as UNAM top goal scorers are concerned.
On him.
They don't score many, UNAM. They don't give away many as well.
Okay. Watch your side. Chalo. Watch your back. Okay.
It's a chance here for Kanjo. Mandiro Kanjo could not control that one. That's a shot that went way over the bar. There's Kaubi also. That is so as it stands, it is still African Stars on top. And remember that there will be a top 8 competition. And those, as it stands, are in the top 8. That table will change a lot as the games and the results are coming in. But as the way the things are, that is how the table looks like.
I think one that jumps off the screen for me is the fact that Blue Waters has overtaken 11 Arrows, and they find themselves in the top 8 now. 11 Arrows, who's been higher than Blue Water in ranking all season, all of a sudden are now nowhere in the top 8.
Now, UNAM pushing forward. It's a half chance there. Nobody could pull the trigger. Flick on from Kanjo.
Winner! A pushing ref. Got it. Let's get it
You
going.
expect, talking of that, as it stands table, I think you expect that to change quite a lot through the course of today and of course tomorrow.
Very much so.
Okay.
Yes, Kanjo is offside this time.
Okay.
And Amandero Kanjo,
Hold it. If he goes, bring him back.
he has scored 3 goals also for
He must
UNAM,
take the
and
back.
the African Star
Go,
supporters
till he comes back.
are in a mood of a title.
They love a title, don't they? They are never satisfied.
Very much so.
If they win the league today and tomorrow it's another title, you would swear that they've never won it before.
And also some history on the cards here for African Stars. Actually to equal Black Africa's record of winning 4 titles in a row.
I think
Only
that's
Black Africa have done that. And African Star shot comes in there. And Owen from Wendell Rudolph cuts back inside, and here is still a chance. And Owen Garisep come collect it at the end. But it was a chance there from Wendell Rudolph, who forced Owen Garisep into a save. And Owen Garisep. And Wendell Rudolph again. And Owen Garisep again.
I'll tell you what, Chester, from the initial passage of play where Owen Garisep, you don't really see those, I mean with the naked eye, but he allowed the attacker to actually get the ball and face away from him. A lot of time goalkeepers in that instance will try and make contact, and once the attacker goes down, it's a certain penalty. It's a really good moment of experience that he's used to rather allow the attacker to move away from him and allow him to have the ball.
Rudolph. Lovely one. Finds Kahingunga. Here is Kamatuka. Malane, beg your pardon. Marambuka. Rudolph. Asep. That's out of play. And it will be a throw-in for UNAM. There's the attempt, Edison.
And then just there, he allows the attacker to actually get the ball. A lot of times, goalkeepers in that instance will try and make contact. And once the attacker gets the ball there, he goes down immediately. That's what you call experience right there from Owen, guys.
Keshere finds Kahinguga all the way back to Garuka. Well defended by Gideon. And now it's a chance here for UNAM. It's Paulus Amtenya, the danger man. Chance, but backing. It's a free kick to UNAM.
I think the one thing UNAM has done brilliantly is they haven't allowed the likes of Okering Waramuka and Stika Kashire to dictate matters in the middle of the park. They've really kept them busy. And in so doing, African Stars has totally not gotten into rhythm as we make it to the 40, or as we go towards the 40-minute mark. It's been a bit scrappy from both sides, but it will suit the UNAM team much better, or much more than African Stars at this time. And the one thing that you don't want, especially the African Stars team, is once their crowd gets on the nervous, it can trickle down to the team, and that sometimes can become dangerous.
Coach, stay outside the field.
African Stars, they've scored most goals so far in the Premier League, 43 goals, ahead of mighty Gunners who have 36. Palace with 35. That was before the kickoff of any games in the league. So you will expect them to score, but also taking in mind that they and UNAM are teams that a team that they cannot beat. Recently, in the last 5 games, African Stars have not managed to beat UNAM once. They drew 3 times, and UNAM beat African Star twice by 2-0 scoreline.
And the interesting about that is a lot of times you hear the African Stars, either players or the coaches in the press conference, they speak of they rather play a team that is a footballing team and not a team that kicks and runs, if you want to call it that. And UNAM is a typical team that plays on the carpet, but African Stars finds it quite difficult to navigate them.
It remains goalless in Oshakati as well. Shoke Chula Chula nil, African Stars. Shoke Chula Chula nil, Okahanja United nil. Here is Malane looking for a free kick. Referee and the linesman in zing that nothing happened there. Iyambo is offside. And it's a free kick. And there is injury on 2 players, 1 UNAM, 1 African Stars. And it remains goalless here at the Independent Stadium.
Yeah, Malani, that was a cheap attempt at trying to get a free kick. I'm not so sure there was enough contact there, and the referee has done a good job so far in terms of spotting those and allowing play to go on.
What do you think of him winning, about his credentials in the Namibian Premier League so far, Elemu? And is he capable of delivering the title?
I think the one thing that listening to him in the midweek interview coming into the game, or in the build-up to the game, is he sort of indicated that he's got a dressing room of players and technical team that are very well experienced at this, and he'll look to that, knowing that he's not won the league, and that is quite a fantastic sort of view into his management style, because a lot of times you'll find coaches and people in management positions that rather want to put down and lay down their foot and sort of say, this is how we go about it. And if you've never done it, it's always nice to look at those that have done that. And I think that is a little bit of a nice view in terms of his management style as a coach. But yeah, that if he is to deliver it, I think that's a really good mark on his CV, isn't it? Especially taking into account his journey from the first division with Live Fighters and then making it to the Premier League with the likes of FC Ongos. For him to secure the Premier League title, that will be the homecoming for him.
Nervous supporters here at Independence Stadium as it remains goalless, and I'm sure they are tapping in as what is happening to the match in Oshakati. And if you have your NBC Plus, you can watch both matches. If you are at the Independence Stadium here in the capital, you can go to NBC2 and watch the other match in Oshakati, and you will be updated. You don't need anybody to tell you what is happening. Oh, it's a chance here for Wendell Rudolph. Rudolph cuts back inside. Wendell Rudolph. Oh, great save from Owen Garisep again. A lovely turn from Wendell Rudolph. That is the biggest chance of the game so far from Rudolph. But Owen Garisep make himself big in that goal and save the day for UNAM and especially for Eshoke Chula Chula.
I mean, Wendell Rudolph is the type of players that you blink once and he comes alive. He can punish you. And they needed all of Owen's ability and experience that time. And I think he might have sacrificed a piece of him and his lineage there to save that one. But brilliant goalkeeping, and wow, I mean, Wendell is only come in, I think, in January with the departure, replaced with the departure of Shahikika, and he's really hit the ground running. Of course, he's very accustomed to the Premier League, but he's been an absolute goodbye for African Stars, and it's greatly an addition to the squad.
The biggest chance of the first half goes to African Stars. It shows that they are the team who wanted more. And Owen Garisep doesn't look comfortable yet, but ready to continue and march on with the game. He has been the star player of UNAM so far.
Oh, it's too far, eh? It's too far to see, eh? Some of us binoculars to see the ball.
Long throw. Will be another throw into the students. Supporters have come. They really biting their nails at this moment. Nothing is happening to excite them apart from the supporters club. That's their job, to get the fans going. Now Edma Kamatuka cuts back inside. Wendell Rudolph goes back in, and that will be a goal kick. Seems like Wendell Rudolph is becoming a thorn in the defense of UNAM now, trying to make things look very desperate, as they should be for them.
Very tricky customer, Wendell. And again, it's that fluidity of the Stars attack where Wendell Rudolph has a license to operate across the front, not just on this left-hand side where he, on the technical board, you'd find him.
Out of play, and it will be a throw-in for the students. It remains goalless here at the Independence Stadium. Warambuka all the way back to Garuka. Kauvi will get ball position now for the students. That's out of play, and it will be a throw-in. Malane. Kamatuka.
Let's go!
Cleared by Iyambo. Simeon Yambo with the clearance.
Come on, Wella. Let's get in. Let's play quick. 2 minutes, boys. We can get something. Luca.
African Stars coach telling them that they can still score in 2 minutes. So let them go all out. Good tackle from Asep. Now, Temisa, it's a long one. Here it comes from Martin. Help on here is Kechere. Kahingunga puts it inside. And now here is Rudaf. And that will be a corner kick for African Star. A large chance maybe of the half now for them to look and get something.
They've sent up the big men in Garuka and Hambira to make a nuisance of themselves in that 18-yard box for UNAM.
Delivery is poor and easily clearance. All the way back to the goalkeeper. And that concludes the first 45 minutes here at the Independence Stadium. And as we were in the beginning of this game, it remains goalless. The points on the table, each will have 1 point. And the last time we checked at the Ochakadi Independence Stadium, it was 0-0. It is in your views of the first half.
I think the game is being played out a little like a cup final. And as those go, sometimes just all the build-up and the hype, and sometimes they are a little bit dull, isn't it? And the tactics wins more than the technique. I think that sums up what we have seen in the first 45 minutes so far. But coming back, I think African Stars will be calm. They should have the confidence and the characters within the team to know that keep it solid and then score one. Whether that comes early in the second half or late in that second half, it's not really of consequence as long as you need to score one and then make sure that you don't concede. But I think the first thing is both teams will go in and look at what is transpiring across the country in terms of what Ashoka Chula Chula is doing, and then Ashoka to African Stars. The attempts there, just as we can see, African Stars, 6 of those. A lot of that attempts on target, only 5. Of course, fouls. It's been quite a midfield battle, isn't it? Bookings one that came to Edma Kamatuka for trying to crook the referee, and then possession, African Stars just shading the position 55 to 45. But I tell you now, I think those stats are a fair reflection of the match. No goals so far in the first 45 minutes, and we expect to see a little bit more impetus, a little bit more oomph and fire from especially African Stars, because it is for them to go and win it. You still want to go away from this game with the league to be decided and in your hands, rather than leaving it late, as we get to see some of those highlights. Really huge ball from Vendo. They recycled it well and then brought it to the foot of Edma Kamatuka. That's where he wants to be, and he's got such great skill with both feet. That time on his left-hand side, the weaker, or which you would consider the weaker left-hand side, really unleashes it. But Owen does well to take the sting out of it and then catch it on the second one. And then this one, a moment of brilliant goalkeeping from Owen Garisep in terms of first keeping it out and then just there really showing his experience to let the striker who's facing away from goal rather take that. Again, African Stars with more. Vendel, he's been quiet the whole game, but that time he comes alive and he almost finishes it, but for the brilliant goalkeeping of Owen Garisep. So African Stars heading into the break with 0 against UNAM, who are also 0.
So that is the situation here at the Independence Stadium. It's as we were, it remains African Stars 0, UNAM 0. See you in the second half.
Well, the NPFL title chase is truly now on. It's halftime at all stadiums as while we are still waiting for who is going to break the deadlock. But after 45 minutes, both African Stars and Eshoke Chula did not find the back of the net, both in Windhoek and in the north. So it has been a pretty nerve-wracking first 45 minutes, I think, for the players, the fans, and the management as well. But let's start with my boss. Let's start with the breakdown of the first 45 minutes. I know you're quite keen and interested in the Windhoek one. Let's talk at the Independence Stadium in Windhoek, what you made of the first 45 minutes.
No, thank you very much. I think what is very clear is now you can see the reason why UNAM is still unbeaten.
Yeah.
Because I really was very impressed how the defense is very organized. Obviously, we have Stars, we have Kamatuka, and we have ASAP them is trying to break down. They have a couple of good chances, but then the UNAM guys are not giving them a break. So I think it's quite an even game, you know, and Stars is pushing, but they still need to take a little bit more, they need to be more aggressive and take more chances, you know, to create space, because I think they're playing too close to the defense, and that is very easy for the UNAM defense. I think on the other side, there was a couple of attacks from UNAM, but then still you can see that Stars is more in control at the defense, but then the game is very even, and I think Stars needs to take more chances, more creative, you know, which they are not able, and then they are making it very easy. So they have to open up the game. Obviously, you know, I think in the second half we'll see Stefanes coming in and a couple of changes that they need to do. That might be the game changer. Maybe that is the tactic that he is waiting. But I'm very impressed with the boy ASAP. He's very creative. He's doing a lot. He's trying his best. Yeah. But then unfortunately the defense is very solid of UNAM.
And on the other side, let's touch base on, of course, that is that is the stadium. But if we're looking at here, we're looking at the stadium that is in Windhoek at the Independence Stadium. We're seeing the highlights there of what has transpired in the first 45 minutes. And I mean, now we also get to get a preview of what transpired there in the first 45 minutes, just in a nutshell. And my boss, this is what you're talking about, the chances that they were trying to create.
Yes, I think you can see that what they are doing, they are playing in the long balls in from the free kicks and then try to come up with the second ball. So that is, they have a good couple of chances. Apart from that, there is nothing more in the game, to be honest. Because the UNAM defense is well organized, and you can see the goalkeeper. You see on that one especially, he did a very good job. On the following, I'm telling you, 10 out of 10, another goalkeeper will have tackled the player, then it's a penalty. But this one was very clever. You can see the coaching style of Harry coming in there. Yeah. So there was a good opportunity, you know, but he plays it very good. And you see how quick the goalkeeper is from the line. Very good goalkeeping, and I'm very impressed with that.
Now, you're looking at that one is Costa. You quite interested in the Shoke one. Let's touch base on the first 45 minutes of that encounter. We get to also look at the stats as well. But let's we get to look at the stats. Let's touch base on the stats of what transpired in the Shoke encounter.
Very equally balanced match, 50-50. Until the 30th minute, Okanja were dominating. But the last 10-15 minutes, you could see Jonas, Lifasi, then they were trying to get in the box. And just at the end, before the end, that's where Chula Chula almost got that goal. But I think they were more relaxed before the game. But when the whistle blew to start the game, now that's the time where Chula Chula guys now, maybe they are now nervous. I don't know. Is it the newspaper article, the headline, they are trying to say on Monday to say that the title winning or whatever, but they are now more stressed than being relaxed before the kickoff. And that's why Oganja, like we said, nothing to lose. They are more relaxed. They control the game. The small bit at the number 10, Vetbian, he's been pulling at the strings there. Mm-hmm.
Well, final predictions for the last 45 minutes.
I think the way you see with Stefanas most probably coming in the second half of Stars, I still see an opportunity for Stars to grab the winner the way the game is evolving. However, if they continue the way they were playing in the first half, I see they not to score. But then I think with Stefanas to open up from the wide side, then they can create more chances. But I think with a goalkeeper in good shape from UNAM, I think it will be 0-0.
Okay, and you, Costa?
I still hope that Chula Chula will get that out of nothing goal. And I hope they will win it 1-0. Other than that, Okanja can surprise us.
Yeah. Well, those are the predictions for the last 45 minutes. We will, of course, be crossing over to that is the Windhoek Independence Stadium as well as the Oshakati Independence Stadium.
Before the stadium lights, before the commentary box, before the cameras rolled, there was dust. There was a ball stitched too many times, goalposts made of rocks, and the referee was just the loudest kid on the block. There was laughter on the open fields where the grass grew uneven, where barefoot dreams outran worn-out sneakers, where the sun didn't care about shade, and neither did they. Because this is where football was pure. Not for contracts, not for headlines, not for the trophies polished in glass cabinets, but for the love of the game. For the girl child who tied her braids tighter and refused to sit on the sidelines. For the boy child who practiced step-overs against invisible defenders until sunset swallowed the skies. This is where it all started. In the open fields, in the townships, on soccer pitch, We go back. Back to the roots. Back to the dust. Back to the beginning. Because before football became a spectacle, it was a story. And that story still lives. This is soccer pitch. This is the love of the game. Because before football became a spectacle, it was a story. And that story still lives. This is soccer pitch. This is the love of the game.
UNAM, I think in the first half, they of course don't need to do anything over the top. It's for African Stars to come to them. It's for African Stars to try and unlock their defense. In many stages in that first half, UNAM looked comfortable. They are winning battles in the midfield, and they basically just disturbing the African Stars' positional flow, which at this point in time is playing to their advantage.
Jackson Bombo, the striker of African Stars, will be introduced, as well as Lawrence Joseph. So there is already movement as far as African Stars is concerned. They want to get this game to bed, and Godwin has been sacrificed, as well as Kahingunga. So Godwin ASAP. And we are underway. With the second half of the match between African Stars and the students UNAM. It remains goalless at this stage, but African Stars make those two changes. And Jackson Bombo, a very, very good striker. He has scored a couple of goals, but now it's UNAM that is asking questions. Kauvi with a good ball, and a touch there from
UNAM starting off very well on the front foot and in the African Stars half. Of course, I think the message from African Stars were those substitutions are clear, taking off Kahingunga, who was operating as a right back, so Malane will be reverting back to his natural position, if we may call it that, the right back position, although he looks quite at home in many positions. He was looking at home even in the right wing that he was operating from in that first half. And then I think Jackson, he'll be playing more on the left-hand side, so I think Shulu will, Kamatuka, he will be operating still as that false 9 or false dropping into the 10, and then the trickster Lawrence Joseph, brilliant attacking player. He'll take on the torch of chief attacking threat for African Stars.
Very much so, and the student also have, and there's a good chance here for Edma Kamatuka. What can African Stars do now? And this is Bombo. Already his contribution not that positive from the big striker, the man.
First touch from Lawrence Joseph, and he's trying to net holes through the UNAM defense. That's what you expect from him.
Better from Garuka. As UNAM marching on. Siririka. Namutenya Give a free kick away there against Malane. Remember the man that was just introduced, Lawrence Dwesep, a former Chula Chula himself. So will he take the cup far away from his former team and closer to his current team?
I think as a professional, your job comes first. And his job is to help African Stars. Here he is on the ball.
Lawrence Dwesep finds, now here is Kamatuka. Malane puts it in there, headed away. Keshere force it back in. And UNAM now can breathe, gets away with it. Headed from Siririka. It's back, giving UNAM back into trouble. Here is Bombo, Jackson Bombo now. Bombo! Across the face of goal. It's a good attempt from the Congolese. Striker playing more on the wing now. He has scored 5 goals for African Stars. Nearly got his 6th there.
Yeah, I think just getting the angles miscalculated by a very few, by a fraction of a margin. Nonetheless, African Stars looks to have stepped into 3rd gear and they want to go through the gears. Definitely positive changes have made an impact on their play already, with Dwesep both touches or 3 touches that he's had, forward looking and trying to net holes through the UNAM defense. Of course, UNAM though have done well. They, I think to an extent, the game plan of African Stars will play in their hands because they have got speed with legs of their likes of the man who's taking the corner now, Ronaldo Kauvi. They very fast breakers and rightfully so, earning themselves a corner off one such.
Corner for UNAM. Big men. Not the best of the delivery there. And a free kick will go to African Stars. You can see UNAM going all the way into their own half. African Stars can play with the ball as much as they want in their own half. But now that's a lovely play for African Stars. Bombo. And that will be a goal kick. Referee having none of it.
That's a wasted opportunity at trying to find a man in the middle. I don't know why he needed an extra touch. They had outnumbered UNAM up on that far side, played a 1-2 and needed somebody, needed a ball delivered to someone, anybody in the middle.
And now a change for UNAM. The man that is going to be brought on by UNAM is the same person that scored against African Stars in the 1-1 draw in the first round of the Premier League. Nesta Iyambo has been introduced.
We said Lawrence Dwesep was given the torch of being the chief attacking orchestrator. That's the threat for UNAM. That's their response to that.
Nesta Iyambo with 3 goals for UNAM. As I said, 1 was against African Stars. Scored against Taika and Ekshoke Chula Chula. It's a lovely ball over the head of Wendell Rudath.
Brilliant ball in. Of course, African Stars doesn't have much height in the middle, with the likes of Edma Kamatuka and Wendell operating there. But still, you want to have those balls in because they cause havoc. As Kenneth Yamutenya is going through the gears here. Quite a strong physical presence in that midfield.
Quick start from UNAM at the back here. Is Bonifacius. Kauvi now. Got the great starch there. And Malane have to put it in out of play. Quick throw in. roughly twist and turning there for UNAM's Namib. And now finds Kauvi. Kauvi cuts back inside. Well cut out by Ronald Keshiere. And it will be a corner kick for the students.
He always wants to go to the byline, Ronaldo Kauvi. Quite a positive character, attacking wise in that UNAM midfield, and then the engine, or rather left side, then the engine to go up and down.
Far post. The best of the delivery there. Didn't really trouble African Stars' defense. Now is Ronald Keshiere. It's out of play.
Big news coming from the North, Chester.
Yeah, big news, big news. We're waiting to see what happened there. If you are currently now watching NBC One, keep on watching, because we will bring you a news that comes from, and there we go. Shoke Chula Chula takes the lead in the North. And there comes the goal. Goalkeeper went out there, and the defender was stranded, and Shoke Chula Chula takes the lead. So the permutations will change now. Malane will leave it for the goalkeeper. So African Stars on the other side now. Kamatuka. The news is getting to them that Shoke found a back of the net, and you can see the defenders now want to go forward. Here is Wendell Rudath. Rudath puts it in there, and well covered by Kauvi, and that's the action to play of the goal at the Independent Stadium in Oshakati, as Shoke Chula Chula have now taken the lead.
A huge moment in this season, potentially a league deciding moment that up in the North.
Quickly taken there, Bombo. Oh, a lovely play from the student. It's a lovely ball here. Kanjo! That was a big chance for UNAM. Kanjo.
You get the feeling that message has filtered, the message of the news from the North has filtered through to the Independent Stadium. The energy and the edginess, the nervousness within the ground is palpable, Chester.
Very much so. Jackson, Bombo. Yes, and that's how, as it stands, Shoke Chula Chula, a point ahead of African Stars. And now, if as it stands remain like that, suddenly the league is in the hands of Shoke Chula Chula, not anymore of African Stars. Here is Kauvi. It becomes very desperate now. The news, as you said, Edison, have filtered through.
Yeah.
It's a yellow card.
You know, you saw a moment ago the big defender from African Stars, Charles Hambira, trying to join the attack. The energy from African Stars just has risen that little bit with, obviously, I think that's a mistimed tackle. Kauvi does well to evade it, but that one there is the one which the foul is given for, and he stood up to take that. you just wonder why African Stars did not start with the energy that they had once that filtered through to the stadium. But I think it comes down to the energy of the crowd as well.
Definitely. Skauvi to deliver now. Near post. Goalkeeper punch it, but not convincingly. Here is Nesta Yambo. He's on now to run at African Stars defense. And it's UNAM that look like they are the one that needs the goal.
Immediately, Nestor Yambo on that far side, looking really good for UNAM. I'm starting to think, Chester, surely there must be something with African Stars' chief attacking threat this season, Willow Stefanis, if he's not called on to do what needs to be done up until this stage of the game. Maybe he's got a knock.
Most definitely. It's a corner kick for UNAM. Oh, it's on the money. Headed away. Kamatuka helps it forward. But it will be a free kick to African Stars. The goalkeeper was impeded in that.
Yeah, it's a good ball inside the big man, Gajo. And his first touch is okay. Might just have delayed and allowed the defender to come back. And that was Malane doing the cover run that time.
Quick throw. Looking for Lawrence Dwesep. Lawrence Dwesep tried to cut it back, but well defended. That is a free kick to UNAM. And Edma Kamatuka, I think it's losing it. He's on a yellow card. And he's the man making those challenges. I think Coach Ilemu should be standing there and thinking about what he can do about Edma. Very influential, but also risky at this point. Kauvi kept that in play very well. Rudath now. Here is Malane. Warambuka. Position given away now for UNAM. Well played by. It's out of play. Actually, a throw-in
the referee,
for African Stars.
The referee deeming nothing wrong with the challenges, a number of them on carrying Warambuka that time. He was asking for the free kick.
Well taken by Kamatuka. Finds Jackson Bombo. Jackson Bombo puts it in the box. Well defended by UNAM's defender, Bonifacius. Bombo again, looking for Chitemisa. Chitemisa cuts it back inside. And another good defensive header from Yambo. UNAM defending as their lives depends on it. It's a quick one, finds Nesta. But Malane wins a free kick under the nose of the referee. And it will be free kick to African Stars. That's the free kick. The referee couldn't miss that.
Not too high, not too high.
It's Kwarambuka. Interesting to see whether he can go from here. Just put it behind the defense and easy for Owen Garrison.
Not a bad idea that from Warambuka. Well read by the goalkeeper. Probably would have been flagged offside.
It's a header away. Now, Lawrence Dosep. Straight into the hands of Owen Garrison.
He's hit that right where the goalkeeper was, and that's sometimes easier said than done. It comes down to the positioning of the goalkeeper, makes it look really easy. But of course, Owen, Lawrence himself is actually returning now from injury, a long-term injury that he sustained earlier in the season. So he might not be at his sharpest, but he's still a very tricky customer on his day, isn't he?
Very much so. He's put inside there. Goalkeeper, easy catch. Kasetura. Jackson, Bombo. Dispossessed. Temisa will clear, but only as far as Yambo. Yambo, easy play. As UNAM now pushing forward with Namib. And it's a free kick, throw in to the students. Ilemo, the coach, checking.
Chester, there we get to see that from Lawrence Dwesep as the African Stars has restarted here with.
Now here is Malane, puts it in there, and that's overcooked.
I've really been impressed with Iambo in that UNAM defense has really looked composed on the ball, handles the aerial balls very well.
There we say, attempt again, Shoke Chula Chula denied by the crossbar. I think they are on fire there in Oshakati.
I look to have stepped up their game.
That is Lifasi who got that one against the crossbar. Here is Bombo. Here is Rudath. A lovely ball. Kamatuka! So close. And yet so far for African Stars.
A goal of the season contender that would have been in the penultimate game, and what a moment that would have been for Edma Kamatuka. He's got great technique and so agile. The nimble-footed left-footed player. Off your camera, Chester. Chief threat Awilo Stefanes has been summoned by Coach Elemu and Co.
Here is Nesta Yambo. Kauvi. Ronaldo Kauvi goes down in the left-hand side, but couldn't really deliver the final ball.
I think that's always where he wants to be, on his left foot, Ronaldo.
Malane. Rudath. Malane. Malane tried to go into the box and now finds Dausep. But well cleared by the rear guards of the university. Warambuka finds Dwesep. Dwesep position given away. Now it's Nesta Yambo. Lovely play. African Stars, there's a movement like you said. Willie Stefanes. And Wendell Rudath have been withdrawn. Willie Stefanes have been introduced. Willie Stefanes have won this title 7 times before. 4 times with Black Africa, 3 times with African Stars. But that's a chance there for Paulo Zamtenya. And he's looking to win it. 4 with Black Africa and 4 with African Star. That is Willie Stefanes.
That is no mean feat, Chester, to win it that many times with 2 different clubs. And being a chief part of it as well. He's not just a squad player. He's someone who's a real attacking threat wherever he plays.
Lawrence Dwesep is possessed. Here's Jackson Bombo. Bombo puts it in there. And that's far for Willie Stefanes. And it should be a goal kick to UNAM.
Real positive play that from Jackson Bombo. He's really done well since he's come on. Limping now, Jackson Mbombo might have come at some personal cost, that cross that he delivered earlier.
There is Malane, men from Lesotho, try to take, but Nesta Iambo. Lovely play from Iambo. And now the students are really, and that's offside.
He's been doing some very smart runs from midfield bowlers Mutenya, and earlier on you saw him ghost into that box and almost get his feet to the ball, which he did, but he didn't connect with it very well.
Stars have to do something that they have never done in 2.5 years. That's beating UNAM, and seems like it's going to continue. UNAM holding firm. Quick throw to Amatuka. Stefanes finds Bombo. Jackson. Now Lawrence Dwesen. Shot comes in, blocked by the UNAM defenders. Owen wants to prevent a corner kick.
Owen is not moving very well, Chester. I don't know what's wrong with him. He's had that injury that he's been carrying for a while.
Kamatuka coming from the offside position, and it will be a free kick to UNAM.
Owen goes down after that run, but he's up again, so he's not gonna need the doctors to step onto the field. The ball identified with AS, which stands for African Stars, who's the home team, of course.
Here is Kanjo trying to go through the African Star defense. It remains goalless here at the Independence Stadium between UNAM and African Stars.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. This from UNAM. They've really kept African Stars at bay for most part, and African Stars have just not found that key to unlock that UNAM defense, and a lot of that comes down to really good planning by the UNAM team, technical team, because the midfield of African Stars has not been allowed to dictate matters, and when that happens, it means they're more on the side of trying to win possession rather than dictate possession, which they prefer.
Oh, when the goalkeeper of UNAM not comfortable at this stage. He have been uncomfortable for quite a while. Shipumba, a young man, will be introduced. Shipumba will be, the man now is 19 years old. Sorry, beg your pardon. Erastus Mulundu is the man that is coming in. Owen Garisep have kept UNAM in the game this far. Now Erastus Mulundu is the man that will be introduced. He is 21 years old. Erastus Mulundu, a young goalkeeper. I think African Star will be more happier with Owen Garisep going out, as he has really been keeping everything out. Now it is up to Erastus Mulundu to continue keeping African Stars at bay. One-year-old Terastis Mulundu. He has a huge job here. Keep the unbeaten record against African Stars from 5 to 6 games if UNAM goes unbeaten here. 6 consecutive games. That will change the record from 2 victories for UNAM and 4 draws. And don't forget that UNAM might also go on and win this game. That is also not out of the equation.
Absolutely.
It's a long one here. Offside against
I think as an incoming goalkeeper, Mulundu will look at trying to ensure that his first contribution to this match is not to take the ball out of the net. That's very key, is to at least get an easy handle of the ball. Or I think this will also buoy his confidence in terms of a goal kick, just to get a feel of the ball.
now. Kanjo. Nesta. Oh, lovely 10. Finds Mutenya. Hello. Lovely 1-2. Looking for Ed Makamatuka. It's well marshaled by Martin. Lovely done here is Nesta Yambo now. Nesta couldn't find his man.
Agents, guys, agents.
Dwesep
Agents, agents.
finds Malane. Malane 1-2. Referee says play on. Here's Kauvi. Dwesep. Jackson will keep it in play. Bombo. And puts it in there. Header from UNAM. Here is Willis Stefanes. Gets it back in a header. Oh, and Mulundu saved the day again. From one hero, goalkeeping with Owen Garisep, and now Mulundu again. Keep UNAM in the match, and Chula Chula on top of the table.
That was the moment for African Stars. Brilliant ball from Willow to loft the goalkeeper and just serve it there. The service at the far post where Chulu was lurking. He goes up well for such a short man. Chulu really does well, but then the goalkeeper does well. That will really feed his confidence, the man who's just come on now.
Quick take. Yambo. Moves around 1-2. Lovely play. Wins a free kick. Nesta Yambo. Causing African Stars problem in the middle of the park. The 25 years old. Not a happy supporters there in the stands. The mathematics currently detects that Choke Chula Chula is topping the table.
Of course, if this remains, the mathematics will become very simple for Shoke Chula Chula. Win your game tomorrow and you'll be crowned champions.
Most definitely. Kauvi will take the free kick for UNAM. Free kick that will go to African Stars. Yellow card goes to Nesta Yambo. I think
African Stars sending up Charles Hambira and the big man next to him, Garuka.
Jackson couldn't keep it in play. Out of play. Just over 10 minutes remaining of the game. Here is Paulo Samutenya. All the way back to Gideon. Lovely play, Siririka. Namib. And it will be a throw into UNAM.
They are right where they want to be, UNAM. They in no hurry whatsoever to take this.
A quick throw. Here is Namib. Wanted to win a corner kick. Another big news coming from Shakati Independent Stadium, and there we go. It's Okahanja United that equalized at the Oshakati Independent Stadium. 1-1 it is in Oshakati. It is very, very much interesting in the Namibia Premier Football League. Lawrence Doisep moving forward, tries to cut through the UNAM defense.
I think just this is one of the most dramatic, one of the most exciting endings to any Premier League season, really. I remember the one, was it in 2013-14, when I was still active back then, and on the field, the helicopter flying over the Semnioma Stadium to award the trophy to Black Africa. I think that was their third of 4 league titles, and this, I think, just about eclipses, if not matches that.
Now Nesta Yambo cuts back inside, and it will be a free kick. And it's Ed Makamatuka and the referee again. Edit and Ed Makamatuka on a yellow card, remember? Be a free kick. UNAM will have 2 players coming on. One is Paulus Chikonga, and also Roberto Rukam will be introduced. But in the meantime, the free kick, Hera comes in. And there is the goal again, if you have missed it, for Kahanja United. Placed it in there. Miscue, the goalkeeper, bounce against the upright, and another good finish there, and 1-1 it is at that stadium.
Looks like everything is happening at the Oshakati Independent Stadium, not so much here. More tactical than anything else at the Windhoek Independent Stadium, isn't it?
Now, sit inside there, and Mulundu, easy catch there for him. African Stars also making a couple of changes again.
think for all the expectation on this game and the players on African Stars, I think what surprised me quite a lot is the energy in the stadiums. A lot of African Star supporters have opted to sit, and I thought they would be buoyed by this game and they will be on their feet
When
for most of it.
Introduced there for African Stars as well as Bongora. Quick one. The header comes in from Charles Hambira.
Such a commanding header of the ball. Charles Hambira goes up really well and dominates the area. Unfortunately, it's overcooked that time. Bongora, of course, is a much bigger presence attack-wise than Chulu. And I think, interestingly, he'll be operating from the right-hand side instead of down the middle in the number 9 position that he prefers.
Now it's a chance here. Shots! Goalkeeper fumbles it and take it in installments. Pumps a long one up front. Headed away. Shots! Oh! Well, the goalkeeper worried there. Yes, African Stars looking to get the much-needed goal.
He's playing, of course, against his former employers, Bwende. Was quite the talent, caught the eye very early on in his UNAM career. His scandal is somewhat dwindled down, or is slight, in the African Stars midfield, which is packed to the rafters with talent after talent, and none more so than trying to dismantle that man, Stiga Kashiere, from that position. It's not an easy feat, and more often than not, he's opted to play, or the coaches opt to play him alongside him, rather than have him dislodge Stiga from that number 6 position.
Now, Nesta Yambo. Oh, he's a lovely man with his feet. He can really turn quickly and confuse the opponents.
It's one of those players that, Nesta, it is, that you come to stay to the stadium to see. The man from Swakopmund is really brilliant. There's not many of his type of number 10s in not just Namibian football, but world football, really.
Corner kick to UNAM. Quick take across the face of goal. Nobody connected with that.
That was a devilish delivery from Nesta. Had a number of African Stars supporters gasping for air that time, and they, I'm sure, were relieved to have found that it didn't connect with the UNAM head.
Kasetura. Just under 4 minutes remaining of normal time. It is 1-1 here. It is 1-1 in Ochakati. It is goalless here.
That leaves us right where we started the day, isn't it?
Most correct. Nesta Yambo, give it away. Willie Stefanes! What a goal. That was flying.
That was a brilliant save from the goalkeeper. Well connected with Awilo. We know his quality on both feet. That time with his left-hand side. And that is why I was asking why the coach had not brought him in a little bit earlier. Even when he's not on his sharpest, he can deliver moments like that.
Quick take. I think Mulundu, the goalkeeper of UNAM, really came in and really did well Look at that. Look at the save there, Edison.
Brilliant save from the goalkeeper. I agree with you. He's done well. Really connected well with that Awilo. And the goalkeeper is saying, you don't need to play half a man. I am here when you need me.
Exactly. As it stands, it goes African Stars back on top. Esoke Chula Chula in second. And it is just 1 point as we started the day that separates the two sides.
I think something that jumps off the screen again. Blue Waters still in that within number 8. 11 arrows not there. Of course,
Sporting also in the top 8.
Yeah, the incentive of that Standard Bank top 8 cup. A lot of teams normally at this stage of the season would have had nothing to play for, but that just brought the spark back wherever and across the breadth and length of Namibia.
Yambo. Throw in that throw in that goes to UNAM. African Stars players were not happy with Lawrence Dwesep there, kicking the ball into touch while they needed to keep position. Robert Nosep, former African Stars coach, is not going to let African Star have this on the silver platter.
Proper legend, the man who's formerly won the Glamour Boys, Shoeshine and Piano. Then
Nosep have a tussle with Willis Stefanes.
A friendly one.
And friendly one, yes.
We work, boy!
Ladies and gentlemen, additional time added, 5 minutes, additional time added,
5 minutes is all that African Stars have. Clarence. Flick on Hera there. And Kasetura, easy collect. Another long one here. Clarence. 5 minutes added here. 5 minutes added in Oshakati. That's all what is remaining now. Jackson Bumbo! Corner kick, African Stars.
Proper cameo appearance from Jackson Bumbo. He's really lit up that side for African Stars. Now, can Awilo Stefanes find the likes of Charles Hamira in there?
Delivery is good. Header! Wide again from Charles Hambira. Yes, the question was answered. Yes, he can find.
I think that time Garuka, he'll be disappointed. That was, he made good connection with it, but just glanced his header rather than headed goalwards, really. But it was the two big men that he was aiming for, Awilo.
Now a chance here. It's a skiff shot from Bongora. It remains 1-1 in Chakati. Let's see what is happening there. Hera comes in and a goal. But it seems like it was offside nearly there for Esoke Chula Chula. Very close.
Another big moment in the season. Just margins defining this title race so far.
And Edison, if we feel like this, I don't know how the two chairpersons are feeling right now.
Absolutely.
Kasetura. Nesta Yambo, not a good take there. Throw into African Star, quick one. Willis Stefanes.
turned to a bit of a ping ball match now, with the ball changing sides often. African Stars now commanding it.
Temisa, position cheaply given away. Now a chance for UNAM. That's a good chance here. Alane, it was offside. Long one, headed away. Can UNAM find something? Here is Nesta, the man that has scored against African Stars in the first round. Keep it well in play, and it will be a throw-in for UNAM.
Surprised
more than that.
I'm surprised by how disorganized African Stars are these last minutes, because they're still in the lead. I don't know whether they've received the update just as yet that Kahanja United has scored. They sent Garuka up top to be their number 9, meaning Stiga is operating defensively.
Garuka have only scored 1 goal against UNAM this season. Against the Blue Waters, I beg your pardon, this season. Not sure what his duties will be there. Not a prolific goal scorer himself. Another long one. A flick on. Safe into the hands of Kasentura. Over 30 seconds remaining in this match. Lawrence Dwesep have not been very good since he was introduced.
Understandable considering he's coming from injury. African Stars have really opened up themselves quite a bit here. The game is quite stretched now.
Bongora just passed that one. And that concludes the proceedings here at the Independence Stadium. It is as we started the day. African Stars failed to beat UNAM once again in 6 straight games. African Stars failing to beat the students. Edison Muhewa, as we are waiting to confirm the scores in Oshakati, the last time we checked it was 1-1 that side. Your views of the game?
I think in a match where stars are written, in a match where your name will be remembered if you do come on to big for your club, African Stars somewhat disappointed and relying on matters elsewhere to confirm what the status will be. It looks like we will be right where we started off the day so far as the top 2 at least are concerned, Chester. But nonetheless, I think brilliant from UNAM. They knew what they were doing. They were in no need or rush to win the game. Of course, they are comfortable within their top 8 position. I think they are position number 6. So the onus really was on African Stars to try and win this game. And now they need African Stars, that is, have to hold their breath to understand what are proceedings looking like at the Independence Stadium back in Oshakati.
So it remains goalless here, African Stars as it stands, and that is the end of the game in Oshakati. It is 1-1 that side, it ended 1-1, so African Stars still remain 1 point on top of the table, while Shoke Chula Chula in second, and the Soapy will continue tomorrow.
It takes us right down to the wire, and that the excitement continues then, Chester. I would have this any league campaign anytime, rather than where you find a team winning the title with 5 or more games to go. So there we are as it stands, 29 matches played, 55 wins for African Stars. They lead the log with 1 point with the Shoke Chula Chula on 54. And then just sneaking into that top 8 is Julinho Athletic with Blue Waters also comfortable in there, and UNAM in position number 42.
There's one thing that I need to bring it out here. There was concerns, Edison, about match fixing when it comes to these final fixtures. But given the result today, you can write that off the table.
Yeah, no, that's never a conversation that you want to have, and you don't want to have, number one, characters like that in our football. I think as it is already, we're thin in terms of fantastic management across, and I mean, it's just brilliant to see that the results themselves are speaking for themselves, to say that this is genuine and this is what we want as fans and as supporters of the beautiful game.
Most definitely, that's what we have here at the Independence Stadium. We will take a break and maybe we'll be back shortly with interviews from coaches.
Of course, the title race still continues. African Stars unable to break the deadlock. Ashoka Chula, on the other hand, broke the deadlock, but unfortunately gave away the lead as Okanja United came from behind to score. That is, for them, one would say a victory, but for Ashoka Chula, still puts them on their nerves as tomorrow the action continues. And I'm going to be seeing the games again live on NBC. And the trophy will be floating somewhere in the middle. If African Stars win tomorrow, well, we'll have a different perspective. But for now, tomorrow, we'll still have to break it all down. It's going down to the wire. I mean, my boss, the anticipation, the nerves are growing even more ahead of tomorrow.
Yes, of course. I think this is it's exciting times for both Stars and Chula to be in this position. And I think if you look at the game today, and you know, this is what I was saying about game management, and I think this is what Stars was doing. Obviously, you can see why UNAM is still unbeaten. Very well organized defensive play. They didn't have much going forward. They didn't offer much going forward, but Stars try, you know, bringing in Stefanes and those guys in, but unfortunately, but I think what I like with the Stars coach is he was managing the game. They were not too over hasty. You know, they were playing very controlled game. So I think that's kept them in the competition, you know. Obviously, they knew that, obviously, someone was most probably following the game in Oshakati. So tomorrow, against Ongos, all the way, it's good. The people will come out, you know.
So the excitement still, you know, is still going on ahead of that is tomorrow's clash. But let's take a look at the highlights of how the encounter ended at the Independence Stadium in Windhoek between, of course, that is African Stars, defending champions, and UNAM FC. Well, there we have the highlights. I mean, my boss, just take us through those highlights of how it transpired and ended at the Independence Stadium.
Yeah, obviously, Stars had a couple of good opportunities in the first half. You know, like this one played back, and then from the second ball, it was a beautiful volley. But obviously, I have been very impressed with the goalkeeper of UNAM, and you can see that Harry is doing a fantastic job there. So wonderful save by the goalkeeper. And I think then there was a second opportunity from them. You know, a rebound, and then that was a very, you know, look at how he controlled the player and pushed him back to the line. So that was a very good goalkeeping again. So I think that was two chances, and there was this one against one that the goalkeeper came out very quick from the line. So I think those were the chances, and in the second half, obviously they try from distance and they try different things, not too much clear cut chances. There was one where Willie Stefanes put a beautiful cross in, and the guy just had it down again. The goalkeeper saved it. So I think Stars tried, but it was not that much very aggressive, you know, in terms of their normal play. That today they were just very well controlled. This is the one I'm talking about. And again, a beautiful header, but obviously the goalkeeper at the right time, at the right place. So I think the Stars have to look at that goalkeeper. Really, he made three key stops, saves in this game. And then obviously again Willie from distance, and then it comes to again the goalkeeper. So I think tomorrow Stars has to realign again and I think go all out. Tomorrow there's nothing to lose. You know, today they were still hoping that there's one game more so we can still play our control game, but tomorrow they have to go all out.
I mean, let's talk about a very important aspect that took place in this game. The goalkeeper for UNAM got injured and a replacement was made in terms of goalkeeping. How tricky is that to have the first choice goalkeeper being subbed in a very crucial game like this one?
Yeah, my boss just said it, that he made 4 crucial saves, Owen. And I think the most least conceding team in the league is UNAM. And that's why he's been the star player. And unfortunately, he got injured. And at this stage of the season, a bit critical. Some questions why. Okay, yes, he got injured. But let's hope he's going to recover and be back tomorrow and be in goal for UNAM.
Well, let's take a look at those statistics of this encounter, UNAM and African Stars, and just how it all played out. Of course, as it concluded, my boss, take us to those stats.
Yeah, obviously the attempts, you can see that Stars had more attempts on goal. Obviously, they were more aggressive because they wanted to win the league. Obviously, from a position point of view, also not very too much difference, but then you can see the game was 50-50, and especially it was played in the middle of the card. The cautions, you know, they stays the yellow cards and 2 or 3, 2-2 against for UNAM and for Stars. So actually, I think the game was, if you look at the whole game, it was a very well-balanced team. Both teams really very solid defensively. I think most of the games were taking place in the middle of the park, and with Stars with those 3-4 chains attacks, and then with the goalkeeper making those saves, you know. So Stars has to go out again, like I've said, against Ongos tomorrow. They're still holding back.
Now, I mean, also very, we're looking at a back-to-back header, and tomorrow is the second one. How difficult and what do players go through having to play back-to-back headers?
There's only one solution to that. Have the ice bath today. That's what the rugby players do, because you have to recover less than 24 hours, which is not good for any sports personality. But you've got no other choice. Unfortunately, our league doesn't have the funds to play one league match in over a weekend. So unfortunately, we have to play twice, double hitters. You have to accommodate our finances and also the distances. And you could see that African Stars as they could play, but I will give credit to the opponents, because you can see now that players play for credibility, accountability, and for pride. Rather in the older days where we had funny results at the end, they like Tigers and Life Fighters 6-1 and 7-1. Yeah. So this one, honest, I have to give heads off to the opposition teams here.
Well, we saw quite the interesting result there. And African Stars is still holding off for that 4th star on the jersey. And on the other side, Ashoka Chula also holding off on the 1st star on the jersey. So it's quite an interesting one, as it's all left out for that is the final day of the season. Now we get to look on the other side of the north at the Independence Stadium in Oshakati. But let's quickly take a break. When we come back, we will of course be diving into that conversation of how it all went down in that 1-1 draw in Oshakati.
Before the stadium lights, before the commentary box, before the cameras rolled, there was dust. There was a ball stitched too many times, goalposts made of rocks, and the referee was just the loudest kid on the block. There was laughter on the open fields where the grass grew uneven, where barefoot dreams outran worn-out sneakers, where the sun didn't care about shade, and neither did they. Because this is where football was pure. Not for contracts, not for headlines, not for the trophies polished in glass cabinets, but for the love of the game. For the girl child who tied her braids tighter and refused to sit on the sidelines. For the boy child who practiced step-overs against invisible defenders until sunset swallowed the skies. This is where it all started. In the open fields, in the townships, on soccer pitch, we go back to the roots, back to the dust, back to the beginning. Because before football became a spectacle, It was a story, and that story still lives. This is Soccer Pitch. This is the love of the game.
The NPFL title chase is still on, as tomorrow we'll have to find out on the last day of the Premier League who is going to be walking away with that is the Premiership. Will it be African Stars retaining the title, or will it be Ashoke Chula Chula being crowned that is the top honors for the first time in their history, and of course for the first time going to the northern part of the country, anyway in the old regions. It's certainly going to be an exciting one. But now let's take a look at those highlights of how it played out in Oshakati at the Independence Stadium. Ashoke Chula Chula 1, Okanja United 1. Well, let's look at those highlights. I mean, Costa, we saw how it all started, but take us through, of course, those highlights. But as we are waiting for those highlights, let's talk about some of the key takeaways you had in this encounter of Ashoke Chula Chula and Okanja United.
I think the match official on the other side that disallowed the offside goal.
Well,
Chula Chula, okay?
Yeah, well, as you have it, you also just give us those highlights.
Yeah, unfortunately, at the pitch quality, there is nothing you can do, because if you are a team that wants to play cupboard football, there is nothing you can do. So most of the time you have to play the ball like tennis in the air, so when you avoid those bumpy pitches and crutches here. But other than that, Chula Chula in the first half, they were a bit far more better, aggressive and better. Okanja United, as I said in the beginning, they had nothing to lose, and in the first half they were a bit too casual, relaxed. But in the last minutes, you could see that they were coming as a team on fire. Chula Chula today, they lacked that, that vibe at home, the fans, even, yes, of course, the nerves and the butterflies and everything being against you, but they tried their best, honest. And yeah, chances there for Okanja, and another counter-attack here for Chula Chula. But Chula Chula, had they taken all those chances, at least, home, you need that one goal, the one from nowhere goal, kick and run ball and grab and smash and get it and goal and get the points, and then hopeful that Stars can drop points here, because UNAM did them a big favor. And yeah, at home, Chula Chula, honest, against Okanja United, a team that is fighting for the top 8, one should say that they have lost massive 6 points today. And it's now in the hands of Stars against Ongos tomorrow, because Bucks Buccaneers out of top 8 will fight tomorrow for the top 8 also, yeah. And that's another chance, a nice cross from Jonas from the right side. I don't know why he had to chase it down. I mean, that one you go for the bullet, we say that Keros Weapon shot, Lovely cross from Jonas. Rather to chase it down, you can head it to the far corner. And then the goalkeeper stands and no chance. And then boom, Okanja United recovered and then got it. It was a halftime score, 0-0. But the entire action started in the second half, where Chula Chula came with the first goal here. And also maybe the conditions, the heat, because here in the center of Namibia it's a bit cold, but down there you can see the people seated in the shades. That's a cross from Chula Chula, and the lovely chance, but the goalkeeper of Okanja wasting time always, yeah. 3 times here, and the lovely cross from Lifasi, one of my favorite players, and then the captain, the boy which I want to win the title, lovely feet in the top of the roof of the net. No chance for the oncoming goalkeeper. But hard work must be given to Lifasi. Lovely cross, yes, goalkeeper could have done a lot there, but it's unfortunately the conditions of the field here. And then it was in the hands of Chula Chula just to control that one goal, sit back, contain them and play on the counters. But from nowhere, Okanja United came. I don't know where they got that energy and the vibe. That's another chance from Lifasi on the crossbar. Had that one gone in, it was over. I think then there was no chance for Okanja to recover and lose lovely control. And unfortunately, the crossbar and the Angels went against Chula Chula. And then this phase, the last 10 minutes, that's where Okanja came. They played like a house on fire. And that's another chance, quality goal from a mistake, almost an own goal by Chula Chula against the bar, rebound back in the field, and the captain scored. And then after, here comes this goal, which was almost a goal. It was a goal in fact, but the linesman waved as an offside. So Yeah, I hope today the security and the police can guard him at his hotel room or somewhere where they are accommodated. Yes, for his safety. Only making a joke. But yeah, that's it. And 1-1.
That's how it of course ended. Now, boss, let's talk about your thoughts on this encounter and how it ended. There was of course that missed chance against the crossbar, that offside that was given, and then as well as the opportunities that Okanja United came back with in the last 20 minutes. Somebody said they were playing as if they are the ones who are second on the table.
Yeah, I think that's one point that Costa put in the beginning, that I was trying to say that they will play control, but then today they came out and as if they are free, they have nothing to lose. So you can see in the first 20-30 minutes, they were actually the team, and then Chula take over and score, and then they came back again in the last half of the game. So actually, I think from a Chula point of view, I think they got too excited, overexcited. I think if you see, and they were, sometimes when you are too eager, you understand, you have to take that split second. When you are a striker or when you are in an area of a position where you have to attack the goal, you need to take that split second to be in control. Because when you are a striker or you are an attacking player and you are in the box or around the box, you need to make sure that you have the ball. Because now if you are too hasty and too quick on the ball, then you will lose, you don't have control. But then when you have control, and then the defenders are also worried. Because they, anything can happen. They can tackle and the guy. But then the fourth, I think they still have an opportunity tomorrow. They have to relax, go home.
Yes. What we're looking at for tomorrow, let's look at those statistics just to see how the players are going and the team is going to try and take away or deflect from what happened today and just plan for tomorrow. Let's look at those statistics just to see what the players and the management of both sides, especially at Soccer Chula Chula, what they can learn from this encounter and what they need to correct for tomorrow. So, while we're waiting for those stats, just what do Ashoka need to do for tomorrow, ahead, of course, tomorrow's game?
Tomorrow is not a league match, it's a cup final. Because now, the whole entire title is in the hands of African Stars. Chula Chula can win tomorrow 10-0. If Stars win 1-0, the 10 goals won't count. So Chula Chula tomorrow, they must go back today to their camping place, get ice bath, and tomorrow they must come and play like it's a Champions League final. And they must take away all the cell phones, no contact what's happening here at Independence Stadium. Yeah. Just win the match, and then they wait for that final moment.
Let's look at those statistics. Mapos, just take us through those statistics of that encounter.
Yeah, at the end, you can see also it was a very well-balanced game. If you forget all the excitement, all the crowd and the voice of Chester, the commentary of Chester. But then basically you can see it's 50-50. It was a well-balanced game. Obviously Chula Chula had more attempts on goals, and then obviously it was the players were very well disciplined as well. So I think from a Chula point of view, there's nothing to lose for tomorrow. Like Costa said, there's nothing to lose. They should just go out and play like their first time come to the Independence Stadium, and they get the attention of the football. So they should just go back, and Coach Cigaretta should tell them, go out guys and play. You have already achieved. You are going to be either number 2 or number 1. So let's go for it.
Now tomorrow's opponents. That's also another factor to take into consideration. Let's start with you, Costa, with African Stars taking on Ongos tomorrow in that clash, where Ongos was also one of the contenders for the title.
The way I know Coach Ronnie is a coach of no nonsense. Whether he has already qualified for the top 8 or not, what I know is he's at work, he's in his office, and I think as they have exited today's match, Coach Ronnie already has planned for tomorrow. And I'm quite sure tomorrow, African Stars, if they want to win the title, it's going to be blood and sweat out of Ongos. Otherwise, Ongos will come and spoil the party for them. That's how I know Coach Ronnie. Yes.
Now on the other side, we have, of course, Bucks Buccaneers that's going to be facing that is Ashoka. What do you make of them going into that encounter?
I think at the end, Bucks Buccaneers, we didn't see the final log. But I think there are
Slightly just within
slight changes to go into the top 8, depending on how the other games go. So it will depend from that as well. But I think, like I've said, they need to come out and they need to play and they need to win. Because you see, at the end of the day, it's your pride as a football player. It's a pride. You know, you don't care about whether Chula wants to win the league, all those. You as Sparks Buccaneers, as the coach, as the players, as the owners, you want to go out and make proud your supporters and your boss.
Well, let's quickly cross to that is the stadium to get to look at, of course, that is the coaches' interviews.
So that's why we fought tooth and nail today.
Looking at it, looking at your performance and the results, would you say it's a true reflection of how your team performed?
Yeah, definitely. I think we had more chances of going forward. I think we created more chances. It's not like, although the pitch it's not good, it's not playable, it's just kick and run and follow. But I think we were a better side, and the result I'm happy with. Definitely.
Tomorrow you are facing KK Palace, the final dance, the final league game of the season. Talk to us. What can you expect different from your side?
Yeah, you know, after playing such a tough match with Chula, I give players giving their all. I don't know how it's going to be, but we're definitely ready for tomorrow also. So we're going to rest well today and then see what can happen tomorrow. But we definitely want to take something out of that game also.
Thank you very much, Coach.
That is the coach of Okanja United, Coach Garrison, just giving us an insight on their encounter. But let's take a look at what the coach of Chula has to say, Coach Sikerete.
Yeah, what can you say? We got a lead and we're supposed to double it up, but unfortunately, lucky was not on our side. And then maybe ancients, the boys started now thinking like, let's protect the one goal, which was already a mistake because it was too early. And then we started allowing Okanja to play in the middle of the park, where I think as a coach, I was supposed to react very fast. I think that one hit me so much that I reacted a bit late because I saw someone in the middle that he was not doing the right job. And then, unfortunately, Okanja was playing long ball and this person was so strong in the air. But immediately when they changed, I could have also changed immediately. But unfortunately, when you don't have experience, those are the games that you have to win and then you draw points.
The results came in from Windhoek. It says that African Stars 0, UNAM 0. The title is yet still in contention. Talk to us. What can you expect tomorrow in the game against Buccaneers?
This is wonderful. This is a season that nobody will forget. So I hope my brothers at the African Stars know that they have now a sister team that can push them up. If they have been relaxing throughout the seasons, this is a season that they will never forget, knowing that there is a team called Chula with many inexperienced players, but they push until the last day of the league to decide the title. So I wish them good luck. They have experience, they have been there. You can't take that away from them, but we, with our own a little bit of energy that we have, we can push all the way.
Thank you very much, Coach, and good luck for tomorrow's game.
Well, need I say anything more after Coach Sikerete of Eshoke Chula said everything possibly that one can say? What do you make of, we have to look at Garrison's comments, but let's talk about both of them, especially the ones of John Sikerete, of course, just indicating what tomorrow means for Namibian football.
No, I think he's a very intelligent man, you know, and he somehow diplomatic put pressure on African Stars by trying to give them the credit. They are the experienced one, but you know, be careful. We are coming there. Whatever happens tomorrow. So that is a very diplomatic pressure that he is putting on African Stars. So you know, we have nothing to lose. Actually, this is what he was saying. We have nothing to lose. You are the big brothers. Yeah. You have been there. You have everything to lose for. So I think I like it the way he has put it. And from within football terms, not you know. But I think from a Richard point of view, Richard, what I like is that, you know, he came and they push. They got a result, and he wants a result also tomorrow. And that is what we know, and that is what I like, is there's always some positiveness within all the coaches, that, you know, whatever happened in football, there's always a tomorrow, and then tomorrow you need to get the result. So I like the attitude of Richard as well.
Yeah, I mean, your sentiments of what the coach had to say, especially Sekerete saying that inexperienced players, but still able to deliver.
Yeah, I mean, Chula lost completely 95% of the first 11. And what he says, inexperienced young boys, and when Okanya United made the substitutions, he admits that, saying that I should have also reacted that moment. But that inexperience cost us. And one thing what I like is that Namibia must be proud that we have quality coaches in the opposition that can counter-attack and say that you guys are on top, but us here in the middle, we are nobody. We are also there to learn from you guys to go up there. And a message to Chula is, whatever they were planning, if they might win the league tomorrow, make it a carnival event tomorrow. Make trumpets, let the girls who's going to come and play trumpets before the game enjoy the moment, even if you don't win the league. Make it a carnival. Make it a colorful event before the match, irrespective of the outcome of the matches. That already will show what they intend for next season.
Well, what a time for Namibian football. What a time it is to witness this incredible feat of Namibian football. Never seen to the wire in a very, very long time. A different generation of players getting to experience what it possibly means for everything to be on the line and to win it on the last minute. Now, let's take a look at how that log stand looks like as almost every game has been played. The relegation quite clear, but the most important one now to look out for is the top 8. Let's take a look at that top 8 and how it looks right now and what is at stake, Costa.
It's now loud and clear. The only teams that can reach the top 8 is either Bucks Buccaneers number 10 and 11 arrows. All the teams from Okanya United, 36 points, they can't reach the 41 points. So that's loud and clear. So Okanya United is out of the top 8. It's only either Bucks Buccaneers, 11 arrows, or Jolino. Those three must still fight for it. So it's a bit, yeah. So Okanya against Kiki Palace is going to be a formality. The big one is Bucks against Chula, and then also Ongos against African Stars.
Yeah, I mean your final comments as we look at the log stand.
Yeah, I think obviously we know now the scenario of tomorrow between Stars and Chula. You know what happened? Both have to win. You know, Chula has to win to have opportunity if Charles Mester. If Stars have to win, not to make sure that if Chula wins that they are there. But then the interesting part is those three, the 11 arrows, the Bucks Buccaneers, and which was the other one?
Julinho.
Yeah. So now it puts pressure on Bucks Buccaneers because they are playing Chula tomorrow. Now it's a totally different game now because Bucks will want to go out to win it, to have a chance to reach the top 8. Chula is fighting for the title. So another World Cup Champions League final for both teams.
Yes.
You understand? So it's good. I hope to see a very exciting game in Osakari tomorrow. I'm sure, like he said, that Ronnie also wants to put, his point across because he was the Stars coach as well.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, because Ongos also wants to challenge for the season and they have big plans. They want to become the big brand within Namibian football. So there's no better space and place for them to make a statement, and it's against us tomorrow.
Well, let's take a look at those results holistically from today. The biggest one is Tigers are going out with a bang, 7-1 against Live Fighters, who is also being relegated. But what stood out for you most, Costa, in terms of the results for the day?
Besides now the Tigers and Live Fighters score, which was obvious, I think the excitement that Stars and Chula gave us. The last 10 minutes here in the studio, the jumping around and everything, I think it's been a while since 2013. Yeah. That one, I think Stars and Chula guys, we have to give heads off to them. They give us a league title season not to forget.
I mean, my boss, what stood out for you today in terms of the results as we're looking at the match 29 concluding?
I think all the games, if you look at the results, Blue Waters away, they win against Rundu Chiefs just to cement their top 8 place. Obviously, Ongos has to win because Nampol, I don't know what's happening there. the last 2 seasons, they were the team challenging Stars. They were the actual team, but I don't know what happened there. Coach Fortune is gone. So I think that Ongos also, but then obviously the Chula game, especially the last 10 minutes, you know, with those opportunities, the hitting of the crossbar and all those, that was very exciting because there's always something exciting with Chula. So tomorrow against Bucks, we want to see that. And then very interesting to see the Ongos Stars, how these both teams, because like I've said, Ongos wants to make a statement. There's no better place and space to make a statement tomorrow.
Well, that is it for today. Match 29 concludes. Now we have the final, the finale of the season. Let's take a look at those fixtures as we get to see the season concluding. Well, looking at those fixtures, Costa, just take us through the fixtures for tomorrow and which one you are most excited for, besides, of course, the obvious.
Yeah, I think all the Shandubala fans, the Tigers fans, tomorrow they have to go to Independence Stadium and give a good sending off to Tigers, because it's going to be a different season next year, because they were used to the NPL. Now, unfortunately, they are going down to the first division. So I think the blue and white of Shandubala must stand up together and go and give the boys a good sending off to the first division. And then, of course, since we know now who is already in the top 8, the match of Julino against Blodas, because Julino also must win. Yeah. And then the last one is also the one of Bucks Buccaneers against Chula Chula.
And I mean, for you, my boss, what will stand out for you as we conclude the 2025-26 season?
Obviously, you know, like we are saying, Tigers, I think they must give Tigers a good send-off. You know, these things happen in football. It's go back to regroup. And then obviously I want to see, I'm very impressed with what Robert has done at UNAM, the work he has done and I want to see them have that consistency which he has shown over the, so I want to look at the result tomorrow against Nambol, you know, how they will react after tough match today. And then obviously, you know, we have the 2 games, Ongo Stars, Chula, Bucks Buccaneers, so.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow 3:30 on NBC 1 and 2, we will be bringing you those encounters. African Stars and FC Ongos at the Windhoek Independent Stadium at 3:30, and in the north, Eshoke Chula Chula taking on, that is, of course, Bucks Buccaneers, also at 3:30. So on NBC 1 and NBC 2, we'll get to bring you those encounters also live on our YouTube channel. You can also be able to stream those encounters if you're not by a TV. But best believe, stay glued to NBC 1 and 2. We have all the action covered for you. And of course, we are, of course, going to be back tomorrow with a build-up. The team will be back in studio to build up to those encounters. It is a finale. The parade should come out wherever, whether in Windhoek or in the north. Now the big question remains, where will the trophy be tomorrow? Are we getting a helicopter? Are we going to get a trophy being presented after the winner has been crowned, because of obvious reasons, transportation issues also? We don't know, but tomorrow everything will be determined, and possibly the NFA will be surprising us with where the trophy will be taken, whether by helicopter or possibly in Windhoek or in Oshakati. We'll be seeing a trophy presented. Eshoke Chula Chula trying to get their first title. African Stars trying to get a 4-star. It is all going down to the final day of the Namibia Premier Football League for 2025-26 season. Something unheard of, unseen in this current era of football. For myself, Javita Kanjumbwa, the team from Oshakati Independent Stadium, as well as the team from the Windhoek Independent Stadium, and the team behind the scenes here at NBC headquarters, it is a good night.
Getting a right through, left through. The referee
Yosemite, trying to see Kitumbwa, at it again. Another victory.
Namibia! Victory! Victory! Victory!